Just give me a moment. Let me sort this out.
Good evening.
Okay, so a good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I am Esiogena Brima. I'm a senior data associate here at Analytics. So while we are waiting for others, so I can see our responses in the chat loud and clear. So that's amazing. So while we still have a lot of persons that will be joining us in today's session, but before we proceed, I need us to do an exercise. So I can see my name in the chat. Wow, it's so nice to speak with us. It's so nice to interact with us once again. So before we proceed, I want to know, where exactly are you joining us from? Because that's the interesting thing of you learning online. You know why? Because you get to interact, you get to speak, you get to learn from people from diverse scenarios. So before we proceed, I need a response in the chat. Are you in Nigeria? Are you in UK? Are you in Canada? Or where exactly? Are you in Kenya? Are you in Ghana? I know we have a lot of persons joining me. So I can see Abuja, Mia from Abuja. Oh, King James joining in from Ogun State. So Abdul from Istanbul. We have Yvonne from Abuja, Nigeria. So I need more responses in the chat. We are like the 3 persons on this call. So while we wait for others to join in, I need us to respond. All right. So today's session is going to be very, very interesting. Why? Because there's this myth behind visualization, that's using visualization tools, that it is so complex. I have to spend a lot of time and then, okay, study this thing for months before I'll be able to do this. But we'll be having a walkthrough of visualization, that's data visualization, using Tableau. And the interesting thing is I will be guiding us throughout this process. So I can still see our responses in the chat. Godwin from Kogi, Chidezoe from Delta, Eunice from Canada. I can see Manchester, United Kingdom. I can see Port Harcourt. So welcome everyone to today's session. You are going to be learning a lot. And I always say this, there's an approach to things. If you tell yourself that, oh, this is going to be very easy for me, it is most definitely going to be easy for you. So I want you to follow along during this session. And if you do have questions, send them to the chat. So moving forward, who exactly are we at Analytics? What do we do? We are the educational technological platform, and we noticed that, oh, there's a large gap between the Black community, between Africans and then the tech industry. So we took that upon ourselves to provide Africans with the necessary resources and whatsoever they need to upskill themselves, because naturally we are extremely smart. That's considering the scenarios that we have to go through as Nigerians. So we are naturally smart. So it is high time that we channel that to learning a tech skill. And then we offer programs such as data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, and also the Power Platform program. So I can still see our responses in the chat. Welcome everyone to today's session. As I mentioned, we are going to be learning a lot. So just sit back and follow me. All right, so moving forward, this is, I know we've met him from the previous sessions that we had. So this is Efemina Ikpo. He is the co-founder here at Analytics, and we've been learning a lot. And I best believe, you know, I mentioned that we have world-class facilitators here at Analytics. All right, so you'll be learning not just the theoretical aspect, but from people that have industry experience. So this is one of our facilitators for today. Then moving forward, this is my humble self. I am Esiogena Brima. I am the data science lead and also a senior data associate here at Analytics. And I have about 5 years experience deploying data science techniques using SQL, Tableau, Power BI, and then Python. So I officially welcome you to today's session. And as I mentioned before, don't say, oh, I have a background in economics. I have a background in, let's say, engineering, because I actually did study engineering, because I like using myself as an example all the time. If you tell yourself that, oh, I am going to do this, and you have the right guidance and the right resources, trust me, your background does not matter at all. you're going to succeed. So don't tell yourself that, oh, I cannot get into tech. I didn't read computer science. I didn't read data science or data analytics. So just believe that if you have the right guidance, if you have the right resources, you'll be able to scale. I am a living example. So everybody, if you cannot join, just click on your audio and then try connecting your audio. All right. So that's one of the reasons why you cannot hear me clearly. So if you are just joining us, welcome once again. We'll be jumping right in. So at the end of this session, you'll be getting this slide, you'll be getting all the materials that we'll be using in today's session so you can practice along and then hone your skills. So moving forward, what are we going to be doing today? What are we going to be learning today? What are we going to be doing in this session? So first things first, you'll be learning data visualization using Tableau. You know, I mentioned at the start of the session, there's this Mr. Oh, I have to spend a lot of time. I have to spend a lot of resources learning or I have to gather so much to learn a visualization tool. I'm going to be walking us through a step-by-step process. And I want you to sit back and follow me along because we'll be creating something amazing during this session. So that's the first one, data visualization using Tableau. Then the pathway to becoming a full stack data scientist and then securing a job. Yes, you want to break into tech. Yes, you are very interested, but what do you need? And how do you go about this? So that is one of the things we'll be treating in today's session. Then remote and full-time tech opportunities and relocation opportunities. So if you are still in Nigeria and then you want to relocate to another country or another city entirely, tech is the pathway to do that, is the sure way. Then we have a special offer for you at the end of this session. Then finally, attend Analytics Growth Internship Program. So I can see responses in the chat. Justin from Benin, Olalekon from Nigeria. Welcome to today's session. You are going to be learning a lot. So sit back and let's create magic. Let's enjoy ourselves. So moving to the practical masterclass session. All right. So from our last masterclass session, if you were around for the session, we worked on a data set. We performed exploratory data analysis using this real-life project, the badging project that we worked on earlier. We are going to be taking this and we'll be taking this data to Tableau to visualize it, to draw insights from it. That is what we are going to be doing in today's session. So as I mentioned before, I want you to follow me. If you have this data set already, you can practice alongside with me, but I want you to just follow me throughout this session. You will get the slides, you will get the recording, you will get all of the materials utilized in this session, and then you can practice along and you'll be surprised that, oh, Tableau is very, very easy. It is nothing so complex. Once you know how it works, trust me, you will be good to go. Now, moving forward, how to download and install Tableau. You just have to click on this link. There's a link attached to these slides. You'll be able to download and install Tableau. So there's a tutorial on a step-by-step process on how you can install Tableau to your device. So when you are practicing, you just have to click on this and you will be good to go. Now, there's one thing that I always, so I think I'm going to mute. If you are not speaking, ensure you mute yourself so we don't hear background noise. All right. Now, moving forward, the art of dashboarding. You know, most times I see a lot of dashboards and I'm like, what exactly is happening? What are you doing? Are you sure you are trying to communicate your visual? Are you sure your stakeholders will be able to understand whatsoever you are doing? Because as a data scientist, all of your processes, all of your, cleaning your data and ensuring that, they are not missing values, you trying to perform your EDA, you trying to explore your data. If at the end, you cannot accurately communicate your insights. Trust me, to whoever your stakeholder is or whoever is the champion for that business problem, everything is null. So that is one thing I really want all of us on this call to take home this evening. So irrespective of writing your multiple lines of code and then going through a long process in performing your analysis, if you cannot effectively communicate to your audience or to whoever is on that project what you have done, the insights that you have acquired, it is going to be null. So I have a few tips for us before we move on to our dashboarding session for today. First one, if you are going to be creating a dashboard now, if you are going to be doing your data visualization using Tableau, ensure you keep your design simple and easy, because there are a lot of charts you will see. This is here, and then you don't even understand what is going on at all. So keep your design simple and easy for everyone to understand and to comprehend. So if you have not done a dashboard before, if you've never created a dashboard, you don't know what a dashboard is, that's perfectly normal. That is why you are in today's session to learn. And we'll be having a walkthrough of that. Just sit back and then relax. So a dashboard is just a combination of charts, a combination of visuals that help you communicate information from your data. So you've done your data cleaning, you've done your data wrangling, your data is finally ready. So you've cooked your data. Now you want to communicate those insights in your data in a way that people will understand. And the interesting thing is people will understand your insights more via visuals, by your chart. They can clearly see that if you bring a table, they might not really understand because not everybody goes well with numbers. But then if you have a visual that accurately depicts whatsoever you are trying to communicate, you'll be good to go. So moving forward, keep this now at the back of your mind. Always ensure that your design is simple and easy for everyone looking at that dashboard to understand. Moving forward to the next point, the dashboard should aim to be a one-page screen. It should be readable and have numbers. This might sound all gibberish and not really understandable for you right now, but when we get to the practical session, you will see how this plays out, how this comes into light. Now, another point, avoid the use of too much colors or excessive formatting. Yes, you are an amazing data scientist. Yes, you love colors so much. Yes, you are the rainbow. You are very good. You shine bright like a diamond. Well, I want to tell you that avoid too much noise in your dashboard. Keep it simple, keep it plain, keep it easy for everyone to understand. You know, you can now deploy your rainbow skills when you are working on something for yourself. But if you want to communicate effectively to your stakeholder on whichsoever projects that you are working on, ensure that you do not use excessive or elaborate colors, and then you avoid formatting, unnecessary formatting. Now, moving to our last point. The key to a successful dashboard design is to simplify the information displayed. As I mentioned before, if you have not created a dashboard, you don't know what a dashboard is. You've never heard the word, is extremely strange, is new. So a dashboard is just a page that contains different charts for you to communicate information. That is what a dashboard is. And you are going to be using that as a data scientist during your journey. So whichsoever project that you're working on, you're going to be using your dashboard or your charts to communicate those insights that you have. So I'm telling you now, Brima told you today, you learned something that you have to keep your design simple. That's one. And the other one, avoid being a rainbow. Yes, you love so much colors, but keep it simple and easy to comprehend. Then avoid the use of too much colors. And the key to a successful dashboard is it being simple. Now, I'm sure a lot of persons are excited for the dashboard that we are creating today. Yes, we've been doing a lot of theory, but this is necessary. It is important for you to get these basics, these rules. So when you now begin your journey, and at the end of this session, I best believe that if you've not created a dashboard before, you'll be able to do so. Now, this is what we are going to be creating in today's session. So no, you must not really create a dashboard for all of your projects. Sometimes you can create a slide, then have the individual charts there with your comments. That's the best way. So when you are done with your analysis and all, you can even export a chart from Python and then just put it in your slide and communicate the information. But if it's a requirement for that particular project that you're working on, you have to create a dashboard to communicate your insights, or during your presentation, you have to create a dashboard. So that's from Justin. So as I mentioned before, this is what we are creating now in today's session. So I need a response in the chat. Are we excited? Are we ready? Are we ready to explore our Tableau skills? I need a 1 in the chat if you're excited. I want to believe that we are following me. Are we good to go? So I can see nines. I can see we are ready. We are good to go. Interesting. I need more responses so I know that we are ready, because I want at the end of this session, every single person, when you get this slide and when you get this recording, you'll be able to explore and duplicate this dashboard. So it doesn't mean you don't have to spend years and years in Tableau, years and years studying Tableau to be able to get this design. You can do it at a go. So I can see the energy in the chat. That's amazing. That's amazing. From Matthew, from Ikechukwu, from Rabiu, King James, Stephen. We'll be hopping over to Tableau right now to create this visual. As I mentioned, this data set will be provided at the end of this session. All right, so you're going to get these slides, you're going to get the data sets, you're going to get the background, everything we are using on this call, you are going to have it. So just sit back and relax. So when you get this recording, when you get this slides, you can now practice. And the interesting thing is when you are doing something a second time, it's going to stick and you will become a Tableau professional. All right, so as I mentioned, you'll be getting the slides with the data set. That's one. There's a link here on how you can go about and install Tableau. So if you've never used Tableau before, if you don't even know what Tableau is, it is a visualization tool. All right, you'll be getting the link to this and you have a step-by-step walkthrough on how you can download this to your device. Now, the tips that I mentioned before, this is very important. I will carry it and put it inside of you so that for your future design, for whatsoever you are creating, ensure you keep these processes at the back of your mind and you'll be good to go. So let's get started. Are we excited? So I'll just, okay, give me a moment. Let me pull up my Tableau. Give me a moment, let me pull up my Tableau. But before we proceed, I want to ask, if you've created a visual before, can I see your hand? Can I see a raised hand, or can I see a 1 in the chat? That's better. So I know the persons that are on this call. If you've created a visual, using Excel, interesting. Oh, that's good. So we have some professionals already in this place. That's interesting. Yes, using Tableau. Thank you, Mia. So Mia, this is going to be very easy for you. Okay, Morgan says using Power BI, Excel and Power BI. Wow. So we have professionals on this call. That's good. Let's keep our responses coming in. All right, so I want to ask, can we see my Tableau screen clearly? Can we see this clearly? I need a yes in the chat if you can see my screen clearly. Okay, so we are ready to get our hands dirty. we are good to go. So first thing that you need to do for any visualization tool, you have to bring in your data. Yes, you would have this data set. All right, just calm down and then follow me along. When you get the slides and when you get the recording, you will now replicate this on your own. You know, I mentioned before, seeing something twice, when you're doing something more than once, it just sticks compared to when you just watch the video. So when you now practice along a second time, you will be good to go. And the thing is, for you to get this slide and the recording for this session, you have to fill the attendance form because that will be spent. Everything for this session would be communicated via your email address. So my colleague is sending the masterclass registration form to the chat. So ensure you fill the form so that all of these resources would be yours. So I want to bring my data, my Jumanji data, because that's the project that we've worked on previously, that we cleaned the project, we removed null values, and our data is now ready for our visuals. So coming to Tableau, you see, if you launch your Tableau, you have this interface that we can see clearly here. So you can either bring in a Microsoft Excel file, or you can bring in a text file or a JSON file, or there are different files that you can connect with. So for a Microsoft Excel file, you know your Microsoft Excel file that has a .xlss on it. So that's your Excel file. But for your CSV file, comma separated file, if you were in our Python session, you know we brought in a CSV file into Python, and then we performed our analysis and all. You will get the data when you get the data to practice. It's embedded in this slide. So you have a link to download it. Just calm down and then follow me in today's session. All right. So if you were around for the Python masterclass that we had, you can then download the data set. So we've cleaned the data set and we are ready to go. So first thing that I need to do, one, bring in my data. If it was an Excel file, this will be it. But if it is a CSV file, a comma separated file, you're going to click on your text file. So I'm going to click on this. You notice Jumanji e-commerce data. This is the data that we're working with. So I'm just going to click on this and then open. So if you have questions, ensure you send them to the chat so we can respond. All right, I have colleagues on this call that would respond to that. So I know everybody is following me along. And as I mentioned earlier, your approach to things matters. If you already have in your mind that, what is this? I've not opened Tableau before. Where will I start from? It's going to look complex for you. But calm down and follow me. That is why I am here to guide you. So the first thing you will do when you connect your data, you have this backstage view. So you can see you have an overview of the different columns that you're working with. You can see your dates, customer ID, customer name, customer type, sales, customer age. Then I have product category, subcategory. Then I have total cost, total revenue, and then total profits. So when I speak to persons that are trying to learn dashboarding, what I tell them first of all is, before you even open any visualization software, before you even proceed to do your visuals, ensure draft out the questions that you are trying to answer. That's one. So aside the rules of keeping your design simple, easy to comprehend, avoiding excessive formatting, draft out the questions. You want to explore that data. You have a list of questions that you want to answer. So come up with questions that you can ask your data. Now, after doing that, you have to now sit down. You now have to check, which visual can I use to effectively communicate that question that I have drafted? So first thing, when you get your data, draft out questions that you would want to answer. That's one. Then come up with your chart, decide your chart. Then finally, create a draft. I don't know if you can see this clearly, but I always do this, and I emphasize on everybody that I know that's trying to learn visualization. This will help you a lot. So create a draft already, create a sketch of what you want to see. Then you know that, okay, if you're coming to Tableau, you're just coming to replicate that sketch. You're just coming to what you have on paper, you will translate it into Tableau. So I read engineering, and initially we used to do setting out. You know, setting out is there. You are transferring what you have on the plan to the ground. That's exactly what you are doing there. So you get your data, all right? Come up with questions that you want to answer. Decide which chart is suitable to effectively communicate that question. Then create your sketch and transfer that exactly. Transfer, I can see Fred's comments in the chat. Then transfer that sketch to your Tableau visual. So if you're using Excel, I recommend it. Create a sketch, then you'll just be good to go. Because if not, you will spend a lot of time going over and over, testing different charts, and you will get so frustrated. Now, moving forward, I mentioned bring your data. So you see this box over here, go to worksheet, just click on it. If you're familiar with Excel, you know there are different sheets, but if you are not, that's perfectly fine. That is why you are here to get like an overview. So first thing, number one, bring in your data. After bringing in my data, so just give me a moment. So we'll have our, okay. Okay, so. Okay, so we can see my screen, right? Let me believe that we can see my screen. We can see my screen clearly, right? I need a response. Edith Young, can you see my screen clearly?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. So, as I mentioned, this is the chart that would be recreating. All right. Now, first thing, I want to insert my cards. These are called cards. So I'm just going to mute you if you're not speaking. These are called cards. They're basically just summary of your data. So you can see this, your total customers, total sales, total profits, and then total orders. Note, I have already created a draft. So all I am coming to do is to translate this from paper to Tableau. It's just like setting out. That's exactly what you're doing here. Now moving to Tableau. First thing that I need to do, I want to get my total customers. If you notice, the first one, total customers, that's one. Total orders, that's another one, that's two. Total, so jot it down as I'm calling it so you know what we are doing, right? Then total sales and total profit. So I will be working with my sketch. Now, I'm going to come here and rename this sheet total customers. Enter. So all I did was to double click on this sheet and type total customers. All right, so let me just Ctrl Z and do it again. So first things first, to name the sheet, double click on it and then type total customers. Enter. Now, if I want to view my data, but I don't want to go to my backstage view, all I have to do is to come here to view my data. You see, I have customer gender, customer ID, customer name, customer type, date, payment category, and everything that we've experienced before. And another thing that I want to emphasize on, if you are given a project to work on, and then your data set contains column features that you do not really understand, always go back and ask, what does customer gender? Okay, because this is customer gender, you can clearly understand that. But Then again, if you are working in different domains that you're not really familiar with, always go back to ask what these column features mean. So I want to get the total customer ID in this Jumanji project for this their store. And customer ID is the unique identifier of each of the customers that they have. All right. So to get my total customers now, all I have to do, see, Tableau is drag and drop. I'm going to look for customer ID. Then I'm going to drag it. You see text now is highlighted. You can see it highlighted. I'm going to drop it there. Notice, the reason why it is scattered like this is because if you go back to your data, it's bringing up all the customer ID that you have. But I don't want this. I don't want to see all the customer ID that I have. I want to count. I want to count it. I just want to count it. I don't need all these plenty numbers showing, because if I put it in my dashboard, it's going to be distracting. So notice I placed it in text. So you have colors, you have size, you have text, you have details, and then you have tooltip. So just calm down and follow me. As we go through this session, you will see how we can use this and what each of them mean. Now, coming back to our total customers, I don't want to see everything. This is distracting. It's too much. If I put it on my dashboard, what I want to see is the count. So all you have to do, if you hover over this customer ID now that you drag and drop in your text, come to this, you see this tiny arrow there that is white. Click on it, then come to measure. Measure is basically your computations. And then you can see counts, you can see count distinct. So there are two different terms, count and count distinct. Note, if I come down now and I click on measure, click on count, it's just it's going to count all of the transactions, all of the customer ID that I have in my data. But what if I have two customer ID now? That means you'll be counting a single customer twice. It's just as if today is Sunday, it's like a weekend for relaxation. And then I go to a shop or a store in the morning. That's one. Then I have a customer ID with that store. Let's say a physical store. If it's ShopRite, you go there in the morning, and then you're a special customer, so you have your unique ID. So you're number one for that day. Then you forgot that, oh, I actually need to get fries or something that I need to eat in the evening, and then you go back in the afternoon. You are still customer ID 1. But then you've gone to that shop twice. You've gone to ShopRite twice to go and enjoy twice. So all you have to do now is, what they have to do now is to count distinct value. Count distinct means you are counting the unique values. I am customer ID 1. Even if I come to the shop 10 times today, even if I come to the shop, I go back and forth, but I still remain customer ID 1. Yes, when you are counting transactions, when at the end of the day, they are counting the total transactions they have, they will count the duplicates customer ID 2. But when you want to know how many of your customers came to this shop today, came to ShopRite to come and buy things or to come and enjoy or get something, that is where you now change this. Instead of count, you come to your measure and change it to count distinct. Because every single customer has a unique ID attached to their name. All you have to do now is to now count the distinct values. So I will just mute. Give me a moment, let me mute. Okay, so we are good to go now. Now, in this data, if I pull up this data and I come to my date now, this might be so long, but I have 2015 and then I have 2016. So I have 2015 and I have 2016 in this data. Now, this is giving me the total number of customers for 2015 and 2016 combined. I do not want that. I want to separate it because from my dashboard design, I want to see that, oh, in the year 2015, this is the total customers that we have. In the year 2016, this is the total customers that we have. So I need to include a filter that will separate 2015 from 2016. All you have to do is come to your date, look at it, then drag it and put it in your filter. So when you put it in your filter, this comes up. So I'm going to do it again. So when we are going through this recording again, it will be easy for us. Your dates, drag it and place it in your filter. Now, what are you going to do? I'm going to click on years and next. So just follow me. For any of the years, if you want to see both of the years, this doesn't really matter. Just click on it and then, okay. All right, so let me just move this out. Notice this was an error when I double clicked on it. All right, so let me do this again. All you need to do is your date, drag it. Don't double click on it, just drag it and place it in your filter. When you place it there, click on years because I want to filter by the years. I don't want to filter by the month. Yes, Emmanuel, you will get this recording and the data set and the slide. Everything belongs to you. Now, next, and then select any of the years and okay. So if you notice now, the value changes. This is for the year 2015. If I now want to see for the year 2016, just follow me, calm down. This drop down arrow, click on it. Then you see show filter, just click on it. Then this comes up. That's why I'm saying follow me closely. When you now go over this recording, it's going to be so easy for you that you would be surprised that, oh, I can actually use Tableau like this and I will be good to go. Now, moving forward, this is total number of customers for the year 2015. And then this is the total number of customers for the year 2016. Also, I want to add another filter too, because I have drafted out my questions and I know what I want to communicate. You know, I mentioned that is the first thing that you need to do. I know what I want to communicate. I know how I want my visualization to be. So another filter that I want to include is my product category. It's my product category. So the same way you drag and drop your year, very easy. Just come to your product category. Look at it. Hold your mouse down and then drop it. You notice when you are hovering over filter, you see that tiny arrow there. It's telling you that, oh, you are actually inserting this year. Don't place it on top. If you place it on top, it's going to replace that year. It's going to push the year out, and then you have just the product category. So ensure you place it under. So this dialog box of before comes up again. You can just click on anyone, and then, okay. If you want to see our filter again, the same process. That's the interesting thing about Tableau. Once you know the processes, you will be good to go. So I'm going to click on this drop down, then show filter. So you see for your product category, accessories, clothing, phones. If you now want to click on it, if you want to see all of the product categories, just click on this. So Valentine is saying, don't know if it's just me, but the drop down doesn't show. So can you provide a context so I can understand that question very well? All right. If you hover over this place, ensure that the arrow is showing there first. So the drop down will be there. So just click on it. Just click on it. It is there. You are probably not hovering over this. Then finally, before we move forward to the next card that we'll be creating, I want a scenario whereby every chart that I insert in this my Tableau file, it is going to be filtered. So that means for any chart that I insert, the year 2015, and then product category, it is going to show. So Mubasha, I really cannot pronounce your name clearly. When you click on the arrow, the drop down does not appear. Ensure that you are clicking on this arrow. are you using Tableau Public? That's the question that I should be asking you. Ensure that are you using Tableau Public? And when you drag it to the filter, click on this drop down, and then it does, except if you are using an outdated version of Tableau. All right. So moving forward, I mentioned that I want a situation whereby any of this visual that I attach to this chart is going to be filtered by year and date. So instead of me to insert a new cell now, then I will now come and drag my year again, then I'll drag my product category again. No, I do not want to go through that stress. So what you have to do now to make life easy for you, and you'll be done with your visual in no time, is to come to this drop down. Then you click apply to worksheets. You see, all using this data source. That means all using this Jumanji sheet that you're working with. That's what this means. All right. So in a moment. So all I'm going to do now is to click on this drop down. Okay, let me get this clearly. You cannot see this drop down here in my chart on my screen. Edidion, can you hear me clearly? Edidion, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
So which of the drop down, this filter drop down, they cannot see it on my screen?
I can see it clearly, so I don't know.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So are you sure it's not your network? Because just try to follow. Thank you so much, Ola. So Ola Aji just responded. So ensure that your screen is expanded. Edition, let me confirm again. Can you see my screen clearly?
Yes, I can see your screen and the drop
alongside
down.
the drop downs too. Okay, let me stop sharing and then share this particular screen again. That's for the benefits of others. Let me stop sharing and then share again. So confirm you can see my screen clearly. Are you the one in the chat if you can see my screen clearly? So when you are going over the recording, all right, and you move on to this drop down and you move your arrow to this place, you'll be able to see it clearly. So moving forward, I mentioned that I want to apply this filter to all of the charts that I'm working with. All I need to do is click on this drop down, apply to worksheet, and then all using this data source. Come again, click on this drop down, apply to worksheet, and then all using this data source. So that means for every cell that you insert in this chart, for every new chart that you insert in this particular file that is connected to that Jumanji data source, you are going to be able to filter it. So instead of you now manually coming to insert your filter again, no. So you should not do that. If you have been doing that before, you should not do that. So Valentine, I think this has to do with your screen. So ensure that you fix that up, or you can leave the session and then join again. Now, moving forward, I want to format this because I don't want a situation whereby after I've inserted the charts individually or my cards individually, I will now have to then come again. No, and then repeat it. So if you have a question, ensure you send it to the chat so you don't interrupt a learning. All right, if you have a question, send it to the chat. We'll provide the responses to that. Moving forward, I want to format this. I want to change this color, and I want this to take over the full screen. All I have to do, you see the standard view at the top? Click on it, and then entire view. So you notice this comes This now fills up the whole space that you have in your chart. And as I mentioned, I don't want a situation whereby for every card I insert, I will start formatting it. No, I want to do it just once. So what I did, come to this drop down and then click on entire view. Then there's a white background in this chart, but you cannot see it clearly. Why? Because the Tableau interface is white. But to now remove that background, follow me. I'm going to right click on this. If you're having issues, if you're not seeing the drop down, just calm down and follow me. You will get this recording and you'll be able to practice alongside and replicate whatsoever we are doing now, so it doesn't distract you and then you are lost. All right. So moving forward, the interesting thing about Tableau is anywhere, anything is formatted. Anywhere you right click on, you can format. So I want to change this color. That's one. I want to remove this background. There's a white background there. So all I have to do is now right click, format. All I did, let me do this again. Right click and then format. So you see this. You see this is for your text. This is for your alignment. You notice it's at the side now. If I want to change it, I have to just come here and then put it at the middle. You notice this is for your alignment. That's if it's at the side or if it's at the center. Then this is for your fill. Your fill basically means the color, the background color. You know, I mentioned that it was white. If I come here now and I change to, let's say, black, you notice everything will change to black. But I do not want this. So all you have to do now is to now come here and change it to none. Then this is for a scenario where you have borders, where you have lines. So one thing I recommend, just change everything. For your row divider and column divider, you don't really need to, like say, cram this thing. Just change it to none. It just means that there are lines there in your visual that you need to remove. Then this is for your cells, that's for your borders. Then this is for the lines that you have. I just recommend change everything to none, because it's going to show in your visual and then it's going to affect, you now have one white line standing out. So just change everything to none. Follow me closely. Now we've centered this, but I also want to change the color. I want this color to be orange, because if I go back to my chart, I go back to my visual that we are working with, you can see that this is clearly yellowish orange, and then this is the same thing. So I have to come back to my Tableau now. And then you see this label. So you can see this T that is there. It is still here. See? That means that Tableau is now telling you that, oh, this T stands for your text. Yes, the recording will be available at the end of this session. All right, you get the slide, the recording, and everything you need. Just listen and fill the attendance form. So I'm going to click on my text. Now, you see these 3 dots? Click on it. Click on it. So you are seeing count distinct of your customer ID. That's what you have here. If I control A now, that means you're selecting everything here. Then I want to change the fonts. Click on this, apply. You see that it's changing. I want to increase the size. Click on this drop. It's very easy. That's the amazing thing. Once you know how this thing works, you'll be able to replicate this. I want to change the font size. Click on this and apply. Notice it has increased. I want to change the color also, or I want to make it bold. You can click on this. It's a very repetitive process. Then I want to change the color also. One interesting thing about you working with Tableau is, or any visualization tool, you can insert a color code that you'll be working with. So let's say I click on more colors now. You see this code here? Every single color existing has a specific color code attached to it. And now I have my own color code that I want to place here. So all I have to do, follow me, all I did was come to my text. Notice this is text and this is text. Click on it. Then you see text. Click on the three dots again. This dialog box comes into place. Ensure you highlight everything. Then to make it bold, this is it. To increase the font, this is it. Then if you now want to make it bold, this is it. If you want to change the color, you can click on this and select any color that you want. Or if you now have a specific color code that you're working it with, you just have to click on more. Then when that code is, you come and paste it here. So I have a color code that I am working with, right? As I mentioned, everything that you need, everything in this session, all the materials that we're using for this session, you are going to be getting it, as well as this sheet. You notice I have a color code here already. So I'm just going to Control C, then come to my dashboard back and Control V. You notice I mentioned every single color has a color code. And I'm going to click on OK and apply. You notice now my color has changed. Now, before we proceed, before we are done with this, I also want to format this title. You know, I mentioned the interesting thing with Tableau is anywhere you click on it, anywhere you click on, it is going to, you're going to see an option to format. So as I mentioned, follow along, you get this recording, you get this data set once you fill the attendance form, and then you'll be able to practice. Now, moving forward, I want to edit this title. All I have to do, right click, edit title. So you can see it clearly, the same process that we followed previously. Control A, or you can highlight it. Then I'm going to come here, change it to, I can use another font entirely. Change this. Then if you want to centralize it, this is it. If you want to reduce, let's say you don't want this to be so large, I can change it to font 10. Then if I also want to change this to another color, click on this drop down, click on this and apply. So if you don't know the color code, I'll be inserting a link to a website where you can get free color codes that you can use. Trust me, you'll be amazed that you don't have to go through the process of thinking which color should I use or what should I do. No, you don't have to cram it. There's a website that you see all of the color palettes, all of the codes and combinations too for you to practice and for you to then test your hands. All right. So moving forward, we have successfully gotten our total number of customers. And note, this is for the year 2015. Now, coming to my filter now, before we move on, if you don't want your filter like this, if you don't want it to be displayed like this, all you have to do, you see this drop down, all of your drop down arrows, anywhere you see an arrow in Tableau, it is very important. One thing I emphasize on, click on it, check it out. You should not be afraid. If worst case scenario, you close your Tableau and then you open it again and you start the process, you'll be good to go. So I'm going to come to this drop down, click on it, then navigate to single value drop down. If I click on this now, you notice I can now, single value drop down means that, oh, it's only, you have a drop down and then it's going to show one single category. The same thing that I'm going to do for the year because it makes my work so easy and so understandable. So I'm going to come back to this drop down, click on it. Then you see there are other options for you to work with. So when you're practicing, you can try it out. Then single value drop down. So I have a drop down for my products category. If I want to select any products category, all I have to do is to come to this place and then click on it. Come to this place and then click on it. So I have successfully gotten my total number of customers. Now, moving forward, I want to get my total number of orders. Note, I am referring back to my sketch, and for visual representation, this is the dashboard that we are creating. We have total customers, we have total sales, total profit, and then total orders. So coming back to my tablet, instead of me to go through the stress of doing this again, formatting it again, and going through this long process, one thing that will save you a lot of time when you are working with your dashboards is just to come here, right click, and then duplicate. So this has successfully duplicated your sheets for you. All right, so you don't now have to go through the process of, oh, I want to remove the color, I want to format it again. No, you can see all I did was right click and then click on duplicate. So you have a new sheet. Now, I need to rename this sheet to my total orders. Enter. Then another thing that's faster for you is I want to count all of the transactions that I have in this data. And I can use any variable that I have here to count this. So all I can do in this scenario now is, let's say I want to use my date, because you want to know the number of transactions that you have in your data that you're working with. I want to get the count of the total number of transactions. So all you have to do in this scenario is to come here. I want to use my date to count now. Then I'm going to drag this and place it directly on top of my date. Notice, not at the top, not at the bottom, but directly on top. Then you remember when we placed customers and we change it to count? That's exactly what we are doing in this scenario. I'm going to come here, then click on this, measure, and count. So this now gives me the total number of transactions I have for the year 2015, the total number of orders. Now, I'm moving forward. What's the next thing that we need to do? Total sales and total profit. Total sales and total profit. So I'm going to repeat the same process again. Right click and then duplicate. You see how it is easy for you. Once you've gotten your formatting once, you can then duplicate it. And you just be changing whatsoever you need to change. And you don't need to spend a lot of time now repeating all of your, exactly, Valentine says sweet. You don't have to spend a lot of time now repeating all of the processes again. So I'm going to come here and change this to my total profit. All I did was double click on this. Then I'm going to change this to my total profit. Then enter. When you have these dates, I want to see my total profit. The same thing, your profits, drag it and place it directly on top. You see, it will compute your profits for you and you're good to go. You don't need to stress yourself again. Then I also, if I come to my data and I view this Jumanji data set and I come to, where's it state? You can see Abia. You can see Adamawa. You can see Lagos. So this belongs to a Nigerian. This Jumanji data is from a Nigerian company. All right. Now, I want to format this to include the Naira symbol. I don't want to just leave it like this. Anybody can think that, oh, this will be dollars or this will be another currency. So all you can do now in this scenario is, you notice I mentioned, anywhere you see an arrow, you use it to format. So I'm going to click on this arrow here, click on the drop down. Then you see format. All I did, let me close this from here. Click on this drop down. And then you see format. When you see format, when this opens up, you see alignment, then you see numbers. The important one that you want to focus on is just these numbers. I'm going to click on this, then come to currency standard first of all. That's the first place you will go to. So I'm going to repeat this again for us so that it will be very clear. This drop down, this tiny arrow that you're seeing here, click on it. Then click on format. You click on this drop down for numbers because you want to format this number that you have. So I'm going to click on this. Then go to navigate to my currency standard, and I am going to change this to Nigerian Naira. So all you have to do is to just search for Nigeria. So you can see there's Tula, there's Hausa, there's Igbo, there's Yoruba. So let's let's go with Yoruba in this scenario. So it's the same thing. So I'm just going to click on this. Then you notice that this has changed from the previous dollar now. It is now in Naira. So if you've missed a lot, you will get this recording and you can practice along. Ensure that you fill the attendance form. So Valentine is saying, let's use Igbo. Let's go with that. It's probably the same thing. Nigerian and Igbo. All right. Then I want to remove this decimal point. I don't want it. And I want a scenario whereby I would see 288K. That's just a process for formatting. Nothing too complex. Please, let me emphasize on this. Once you know how to use this formatting, it's going to be very sweet and very easy for you. You don't have to now go over, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. No, no, no. Once you know how to use this formatting, it's going to be very, very easy for you. It's just to right click, format, right click, do this, and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to come here. Now, move to currency custom. I don't want this decimal place. Remove it. Then I don't want to see this full value. I want to display my result in a way that it will be 288K. So anybody seeing this will know that, oh, that K is representing thousands. So all I have to do now is click on this drop down and change it to 1,000. You notice that this has changed completely. So you can now see 289K. That stands for 289,000 Naira. In Naira, note that's what we are working with. So this is nothing too complex. Once you are familiar with this, you've done this over and over again. Trust me, you'll be good to go. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't think, what is Brahma doing? How will I learn all these things? No, calm down. You'll be good to go. So moving forward, the next thing that I want is my total sales. All you have to do, right click and duplicate. You see how sweet this is? You don't have to now create a new sheet, then insert it, then format it again. No, you're a professional. You have to work smart. Exactly. Fred is saying sweet like Amala. All right. So I'm going to come here, double click on this, and then rename it to total sales. Then enter. Then all I want to do is my revenue. Where is it? Drag it and place it directly on top. So now you can see this is 9,947,000, blah, blah, blah. What you want to do now is the same way you formatted this total profit that you put your key. That's exactly the same way you're going to format your total sales. All right. How can you do this? Remember, this is your drop down. This all of your formatting and then the drop down that you have in Tableau is your best friend because it is very flexible. You can use it to create multiple visuals and you'll be surprised that, oh, I can actually do this. It's very sweet and very interesting how whatsoever you have documented on paper, you can now translate it to a visual. All right, so moving forward, I'm going to click on this drop down. Okay, click on this drop down, format, then navigate to number again. So I'm going to click on currency custom. Note, this is dollar. You now have to go back to this currency standard, click on this drop down and change it to Nigerian. So Valentine said you should use Igbo, but you're being biased, so well, let's go with that. So I'm going to click on this. Then I'm going to come to my currency custom because I don't want this to show. This might be too large and might be too distracting from my data. All you now have to do is remove the decimal place. That's one. Then I want to display it as in millions. You remember the previous time I displayed it in thousands. But this might not really be understandable for anyone. So in this scenario now, you can display it in millions, then increase the decimal places to 2 decimal places so that it's understandable. Anybody that sees it will know that, oh, our total revenue for the year 2015 is 9.95 M. That's 9,900,000 and something that's attached. All right, so you're giving them a summary of the data. So you see how fast you have created the cards that you have. We are moving to the interesting part now. That is your visual. We've successfully created all of this. What we want to do now is to create our visual. That's our gender distribution and our payment option. And we're going to be learning one very interesting trick that we have in Tableau. So moving forward, I'm going to repeat the same thing. Right click and then duplicate. So I'm going to come here, double click on this and rename this to gender distribution. Enter. You notice this has updated here. So I don't now have to go through the process of, oh, I'm going to edit this again. I'm going to start from somewhere. I'm going to do this, do this, do this. No, it has automatically been duplicated for you. So moving forward, I want to create a donut chart. And the thing with Tableau is, if I come to this show me here, you will see all of the charts that we have. You see all of the charts that we have in Tableau. But the thing now is, Tableau does not have a donut chart embedded in it. So you now have to navigate and create that donut chart. That's exactly what we are going to be doing. So just follow me closely. First things first, what I want to do is, I want to create 2 cycles. You know, a donut chart has a big outer cycle and then one small inner cycle. Has a big outer cycle and then one small inner cycle. What I want to do is, I want a situation whereby I'm going to create 2 cycles, then I'm going to join it together. Note, I mentioned this is not hard. This is not complex at all. Just calm down and follow me. When you are going through the recording again, it's going to be very easy. You'll be surprised. It is a step-by-step process. You'll be surprised at what you can do. So I mentioned, if I come to show me up at this top, you can see it clearly, and I click on this, you'll see the different charts that we have in Tableau. But Tableau does not have a donut chart. And from my dashboard, I want to use a donut chart to adequately represent my insights, whatever I want to communicate. So all you have to do now is follow me closely. This might seem confusing or strange, but it is not. I'm going to come here. Then, since I don't need this, I'm going to drag it out. Notice all I did was come here, click on it, and drag it out. I don't need it. Now, I want to create 2 cycles and place them on the same axis. You don't need to cram this. You don't need to be scared or frightened. Just know the process and you'll be good to go. So first things first, I'm going to create, there's something called a calculated field in Tableau. That is just for your computations. Now, I'm going to come here, right click, then create calculated field. So all I did, right click, then create calculated field. So this is where you specify what's the name you want to give your calculation. So I'm going to clear this out, then call this 0. Just follow me closely. This is one of the easiest ways that you will ever find on how to create a donut chart. Trust me, there are a lot more complex processes, but this is very easy. The first thing that you need to do is to create your calculated field. So I'm just going to put 0 here and then, okay. You notice this has been updated here. Now follow me closely. All I need to do is this 0, I'm going to drag it to my row. Or if you want to place it in your column, anyone works. Then I'm going to, you see this stuff here? See this automatic? I'm going to click on this drop down and change it to a file. All I did, after creating this particular 0, I'm going to take it, then drag it and place it in my row. That's one. Then, okay, this is total revenue. That was a mistake. So my 0, I'm going to take it and drag it to my row. Then you remember that I said I need 2 charts. I need 2 cycles that I will combine together. So I'm going to take this 0 again, then place it by the side. Now, I have exactly 2 zeros, 2 cycles, 2 pies that I'm working with. But you notice, these pies, I need to bring them close together so that they will be in the same place. So I can now have a smaller cycle and then an outer cycle outside. Follow me. You know, I mentioned this is not something that you need to cramp or you need to be scared of that. Oh, I don't actually know this. Where am I going to proceed or what am I going to do? All you have to do now is come here. You see this drop down. I want a situation whereby this cycle and this cycle, they are together. They are joined together. All you have to do, come to this drop down. You see this dual axis. It means that you are bringing this cycle and you are placing it together. That's exactly what you are doing. If I click on dual axis, note it has brought the 2 cycles together. So you have this, your outer cycle, and then you have your inner cycle. You might not really see it, but let's change the color. Then you see where this comes into play. Note, all I did was click on the drop down, then specify dual axis to bring both of them to the same axis. Now, so you see clearly how this works. For the first zero, for the first cycle, this first one, that's the outer one. If I come to size, you know, I mentioned these functions here, they are very explanatory. Color is for you to change the color. For your size, for your label, for your size is for you to increase the size. For your label, for you to specify any label or text that you are including. We'll be having a walkthrough now and you see how easy it is. So I'm going to click on this size. Then I'm going to increase it. This size has increased, but it's still one cycle. Why? Because both of them are the same color. This is the first zero, and then this is the second zero. So if I come to this, my second zero now, and I click on color, and I change it to this black, what do you see? You see, oh, I now have one outer cycle, and I have one inner cycle. All I did was come to color, then click on black to change it. Then you notice this cycle is too big. I don't want it. So all you have to do now is to come back to size. That's the interesting thing. Everything you need is here. I'm just going to click on size, then reduce it. You notice the inner cycle has reduced. So I'm going to reduce it again so it's a little bit smaller. All right, so I think we are good to go now. If you also want to increase it again, you feel the outer cycle is too small, you can come back here and then increase the size or choose whatsoever fits. That's based on your own discretion. Now, going back to our dashboard that we are creating, you see that I divided this into 2, and you have for male and for female. All I have to do is, I'm going to take my gender, and then I'm going to drag it to my angle, first of all. The thing is, I want a situation where this cycle is being shared into 2. That's, I will not have for male, and I will have for female. So I'm going to drag this my gender and place it in my angle. But you notice now, this is grayed out. Why? Because your customer gender is male and female. It is categorical. You don't have to tell Tableau that, oh, this is not categorical. I want you to count it for me. So the same process that we went through before for your sum and for your profit. All you have to do now is come to this drop down and then change your measure to count. I have now dragged my count of my customer gender and placed it in my angle. Now, the second thing I'm going to do is, I also want to drag, I want it to show the different colors that I have here, because yes, the angle is there, but then it's the same color. It is not clear. All you have to do, your customer gender, drag it and place it in color. You see, now, this is for male and this is for female. Note, you see this symbol over here. Color is for color. This angle is for this angle. If you want to increase the size, you can do so here. If you want to insert a label, you can also do so here. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to insert the numbers here that, oh, this is for male and this is for female. All you have to do is your customer gender again, drag it and drop it in your label. You see male and then female. But what if you want to see the number? What if you want to see, I want to see the percent for this, and I want to see the percent for this. What you can now do is, this is a category. I want to change it to a count. So I can now see which number belongs to male and which number belongs to female. So what you now have to do is click on this drop down, measure, and count. So you can now clearly see this belongs to male and this belongs to female. But anybody seeing this will not understand now. All you now have to do is to come back, your customer gender, drag it again to your label. So just give me a moment. Your customer gender, drag it again to your label. Now, you now have both the count and then for anybody that sees this chart now will know, oh, this is for male and then this is for female. And one quick tip that you need to learn, right? When you are working with pie charts, it is best you use percentage because 7,231 might be so large. So I now want to convert this to a percentage. So all you have to do now, come to this label. Note this one that has number, this one that is the count, not this male and female. Come here, click on this drop down. Then navigate to quick table calculation. This is used for when you want to create a summary. You can see it here. Running total, percentage difference, percent of total. So what I want to do is I want to see out of 100%, which one is for male and then which one is for female. So what I have to do now is I'm going to come here, click on this drop down, then quick table calculation, change it to my percent. Okay. I think I clicked on the wrong thing. So drop down, quick table calculation, change it to my percent of total. Because I want to see in male, in 100%, this part belongs to male and this part belongs to female. So anybody that will see this chart now will know that, oh, 48% of the total customers that we have in the year 2015, you can see 2015 over here, 48% of the total customers that we have are male, while the other 51%, they are female. And Chisom, you are going to get the slides, you are going to get this data, everything will be sent to your mail. Ensure you fill the attendance form. Now, the last thing that we need to do is, you can change the color. If you do not want this, I just need to come to color. Very easy. You notice it's the same repetitive process that we've been performing. Come to color, edit color. Then if I want to edit female, just double click on it. Then choose any color. You can iterate over it here to increase the shade or darken the shade. Or if you have that color code that we used, you can then use it here, paste it here. So anyone works for you. There's a lot of flexibility. So I'm just going to click on OK. Then move this and click on apply. You notice this has been added. Then for male, if I want to change it to black, all I need to do is double click on this, then click on black. And okay, apply. So you can clearly see that, oh, this belongs to male, this belongs to female. Then one last thing that we need to do before we are finally done with this chart. I want to remove, I don't want this decimal place. The same process that we did before when we were formatting our total sales. Come to this drop down. Note the one that has count. Come there and click on this. Format. That's the interesting thing. And I want to change this to 0 decimal place. I just want to see 48%. All you now have to do is to come here, come to percentage, then reduce this to 0. Then that's it. Then you know I mentioned before that there are lines here that you might not really see. This line, I don't need it. This line that you're seeing there. Then this line, I don't need it again. It's going to distract my dashboard. The interesting thing about Tableau is anywhere you right click on, you can format. So I'm going to right click on this. I want to remove this. So you are going to untick show header. It's going to go out. Then these lines here, I don't need it. I don't need it at all. Right click, format. I just right click on this empty space. So I'm going to come here. Everything here, just change it to none. Change it to none. I don't need this none. Then I also don't need this none. You notice that the lines are now disappearing. Then for rows, just ensure that, okay, you don't have a ground total. Just change everything to none. Come to columns, change everything to none. You do not need it. When I'm done with my board, I'm going to come to my lines again. Ensure that everything, just change it to none. Because sometimes it might be stressful since you're not really familiar. It might be stressful you're trying to find out, does this line belong to this place? So just change everything to none and we are good to go. Now we have successfully created our gender distribution charts. So if I want to create a new donut chart, now I don't need to start the process again. All I have to do now is right click, duplicate. You see how sweet this is? Then come here, rename this to I want to see my payment option distribution. Bushon. The simple trick, the easy trick now, instead of you starting over, all you have to do now, anywhere you see gender, anywhere you see customer gender, let me expand so we can see clearly. Anywhere that you see customer gender, just come here and replace it with payment option. So you don't have to go through the process of, oh, I'm going to start again, I'm going to create the donut chart, I'm going to format. No, you need to work smart. That's very important. So what I'm going to do is my payment option, I'm going to click it, drag it and place it directly on top of customer gender. So I'm going to release my hands. Note, don't just remove your eye from this place here. Just follow me. Then you notice this is count of customer gender. That means if I'm taking my payment option here, I'm going to be working with my count of my payment option. So I'm going to come here. Where's my payment option? Drag it and place it directly on top of this place. Notice you now have to change it to a count. So I'm going to click on this drop down. The same repetitive process that we've done previously. Then change it to count. Then I also have another count here. That means I'm going to come here, drag my payment option, and then place it on this. Note, this was count previously, so you have to click on this drop down, measure, and then change it to count. So it's very sweet. Then the last one, this customer gender, I'm going to replace it with my payment option. All you have to do is come here and place it directly on top. So you note, you now have the different payment options that you have. So instead of you to now go through the long process of creating your chart over again, you just do this and be good to go. Then, if I want to change these colors now, if I want to change the color for this text, note, this is text, the same repetitive process. Come to this T label, click on these 3 dots. You note we had this dialog box before. Highlight it. If I want to make it bold, or if I want to change the text, change it. Then if I want to make it, change the size. If I want to make it bold, then if I want to use a color, I'm just going to click on this and apply. You see, you're done. Then if you want to edit these colors also, you don't want this, very easy. Come to color, edit colors. Then I want to change this to black. I'm going to click on black and okay. If you click on apply, it's going to change here. Then I want different shades of my orange/yellowish color. All I want to do, double click on this, then you can, okay, apply. You see it here. Then double click on this again. Since this is red, I want orange to be here. All I have to do is click on this orange. Then you see this here. Then I'm going to just make it darker. Then, okay, and apply. So you can clearly see now that we are good to go. Then finally, I mentioned when you are working when you are working with your pie chart or your donut chart, ensure you place it as a percentage. So it is going to be understandable for anyone going through your chart or for anyone that you are trying to communicate to. So the same process that we did before. Navigate to where T. T means the labels that are here. T for label. Payment option, T is a label. Then this is for your angle. Look at it clearly here. Angle, the angle symbol. Color, the color symbol. So I'm going to click on this drop down now. Come to quick table calculation again. Then percent of total. You see how repetitive it is? We are doing the same step over and over again. Then I want to remove this decimal place. Click on this drop down. Then format and come back here. Percentage. Remove this. Change it to 0. And you are good to go. So you see how the process, it's once you know how to format it, once you know how to know all your formatting tools, you'll be good to go. So moving forward, we have other charts that we want to insert. We have our sales / profits by product category. We have sales / profits by customer type. Then we have this one. You will clearly see how this is repetitive now. This dashboard that looks so amazing, that it looks as if you spent a lot of time. You see how repetitive this is. So I'm going to come back here now. I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to double click on it and name it sales / profits by subcategory. Category. Okay. Category. Enter. I don't need this. I'm going to take it out. I'm done with it. Just click on it and drag it out. Drag it out. Click on this. Drag it out. Then you notice this is still a pie. You cannot come back here and change it back to the default. That's automatic. So you have your empty shape here. All I have to do now, I want to see a relationship between come to your dashboard. I want to see this yellow is for my profits, and then the black is for my sales. So I'm going to drag my revenue. I'm going to place it here. Then follow me. I'm going to drag my profits. I'm going to place it here by the side. Or you can move it to your row and column. Anyone works. Then I'm going to drag my subcategory and place it here. So you notice, okay, this is giving me a bar chart. This is called a bar chart, but I want both of them to be together. So I have my total revenue and I have my profits. You notice this gives you the total, gives you different charts that you can use to work on. So all I did here was, I'm taking this out now because I don't need it, because I want to restart the process. So you can come here, anyone you want to start with. If it's your category, drag it. Then I need my revenue. So you see it's going to give you this bar chart now. It's already computing it for you. If you want to see it as a table, you can just come here and then click on this. So you're going to see this as a table. So I don't want this. I'm going to Ctrl Z and then leave my chart. Then I also want to see my profit. So I'm going to come here and then drag it here. So note, you now have your profits, your revenue, and then your profits. But I want a situation whereby both of them are in the same axis. So they are together. So I will clearly see the sales and then the profits. All you have to do, remember when we combined this, remember when we combined the two cycles as one single axis? That's exactly what we are going to be doing here. So I'm just going to come back here, click on this drop down and tick dual axis. So there's no need for you to be scared here. All you have to do, come to revenue, come to this drop down, change it to a bar. Then come to your profit or loss, come to this drop down and then change it to a bar. All right. So I'm just going to make this, okay, this is the entire view. Then the last thing that I need to do is I want to place both of them on the same axis. Why? If you come here, you will see that this is minus 100K and this is minus 1,500K. So all you now need to do is to place both of them on the same axis. So you just have to come back, right click and synchronize axis. So you will now see clearly each of the category that we have here. You see each of the category and then the corresponding sales and the corresponding profits. So nothing too complex. If I'm doing this again, there's nothing for you to be scared. There's nothing for you to be, oh, this is so hard. No, just follow me closely. First thing that I did, my subcategory, I'm placing it here. Then I'm coming here, I'm placing my revenue. So this is what, if I want to see it as a text, now I mentioned that you're going to click on this and then you see it clearly as a text. Then I'm going to come back here now. I want to see my profits. Or let me change it to a table first of all. I want to see my profit. I'm going to come and drag my profits, then drag it to this place. But this process, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. So I'm going to drag my profits now and place it by the side. You notice, then I want to merge both of my axes together. I want this and this to be together. All you have to do, click on this drop down and come to dual axis. So it is now together. You see, this is in 20K, but then this is in 500K. The axis is different. You remember if you have your x-axis, you have 2, 4, 6, 8. Then you have another axis that has 100, 200, 300. So we need to make sure that the axes, they are the same. So I'm going to right click on this and then synchronize axis. So it is now the same. I have my, let me close this, just click on this to close it. I have my profits. Then I have my corresponding total revenue. So what I can now do is I can either change the color, make this black, and then make this one extremely, make it yellow rather, because that is my theme. That is the theme that I'm working with. So first things first, before I even change the color, I don't want this. You can see this at the top. You can see this at the top where you see profit and loss. Right click on it and then untick show header. Then you can see this at the bottom. You can see it at the bottom, all right? Right click on it and then untick this. Then if I also want to change the color and then remove the line, you can see this line here. You know, I mentioned before, all these lines will distract you. So all you have to do, right click, format, then this comes up again. Notice we have used this before. So you can see this format font here. All right, I'm just going to come to my borders and lines and remove everything. You know, I mentioned, do not feel that this is hard. Do not feel overwhelmed. Tableau is very sweet, right? If you know the formatting, you can perform, you can create magic. That's the thing. So I'm going to come to my sheet, make everything none, none, then none. My rows and columns, make everything none. Make everything none. Then come back here again. For my sheets, for my entire sheet, ensure that it is none. Come to my rows, ensure that it is none. Come to my columns also, ensure that everything is none. And you're good to go. So I don't need this again. This subcategory that you can see here, I do not need it. I'm going to right click on this and hide. Then if I want to change this color now, right click on it, format, very easy. Come to this place that you're seeing here, this place that I'm hovering my mouse over. Click on this. This is to change the text. This is to reduce, it's repetitive. Then if I want to choose this, choose any color, this is it. Then you're good to go. So the last thing that we need to do now is to change the color of these bars. All you have to do, double click on color, edit color. You see the same process. You see profit and then you see total revenue. So for me to edit my profit, I need to come here, then Let's say I want my profit in this shade of yellow, or if I am working with my color code, the one we've been using, then my profit, this is it. I just need to copy it, Control C, then come here and place it here, Control V, and click on OK. Then for my total revenue, I'm going to double click on this. Then I'm going to go back to my color code, highlight it, Control C, then come to my Tableau, then Control V, and click on OK, and click on Apply. So you can see this is coming into play. If I want to increase the size, you see the size of the bars are increasing. Then, if I want to include a label, remember, when we include a label for this chart, we drag it into C. Exactly what I'm going to do in this scenario. I'm going to drag I want to see now my revenue. I'm going to drag it into this my label that we have here. So all I have to do, I'm going to close this. That's using this X button at the top. I'm going to close this, then come to my revenue. Notes, we have two boxes here. One is for revenue, and then one is for profit and loss. You remember we had two charts that we combined. The same way for this, your gender distribution, you had two pies that you combined. Exactly what we're going to do here. So I'm going to take my revenue, drag it, and put it into this my label. What do you see? It is at the middle. And then I want it at the edge. So all you have to do, you can either come here, the same process, click on this. We've experienced this before, right? So it is repetitive, very easy. Highlight it. If I want to change the font, this is it. If I want to reduce the size, this is it. If I want to change the color, this is it. I'm going to apply. Okay, Control A, then change the color and apply. Then, if I want to move it to the edge, you notice this alignment here is saying center. All I have to do now is to click on the edge. You see, it has moved to the edge. So these tools are very easy. It's just for you to play with it. And lastly, if you do not want this as million, because you are saying 0.27 million, I feel the best way to communicate this will be having K at the back. That's in thousands. All you have to do, click on this drop down. Then click on format. Remember this number that we visited earlier? That's exactly what we are doing here. Click on this, then change this place to K and reduce this decimal place. And we are done. So you can now see that, for earpiece, we had a total revenue of 270,000 at approximately. But then look at the profit that we made. Then in 2015, we had like a total revenue of 2 million, but we had a loss of 93,000. So if I want to sort this now, we are done with this chart. If I want to sort this from ascending to descending, you see this over here, this symbol at the top here, where I'm hovering over. This is it. You can use either one. And then you have ascending order and you have in descending order. So we are done with this sales by category chart now. All I have to do now is to now duplicate this chart and use it to make my sales / profit by salesperson, and then my sales / profit by customer type, and we are done. We are basically done with this dashboard. So I'm just going to right click and then duplicate. Sales profit by salesperson. I'm going to type salesperson. Then delete this, enter. All you have to do, when you have this subcategory, just where's your salesperson? Look for it, drag it and place it on top. And you're good to go. You see how sweet this is? If I want to sort it now, I can sort it from this. If you feel that in this scenario, using million instead of thousand is going to communicate this well, you can do it. All I did was take my sales category, then drag it and place it directly on top. I've been emphasizing on work smart, not hard. If you settle down, you can complete this entire dashboard in less than 30 minutes. Why? Because you've already done your formatting and you are used to these tools that we are working on. So if I want to change this now to a million, the same process, click on this drop down, format, come here, change it to millions. And you can increase the decimal place. And we're good to go. Then, what's the next chart that I want to see? You see how fast this is now. What's the next chart that I want to see? Sales/profit by customer type. The same thing. Right click, duplicate. Sales and profit by my customer type. So as I mentioned before, just follow me. Once you get this recording, trust me, you'll be surprised how easy this will be for you. All I need to do now is to, wherever I have this sales person, I'm going to come to my customer type and place it directly on top. So you can see now that, oh, this is for my high sales, this is the corresponding revenue. My low sales, this is the corresponding revenue. And my medium sales, this is the corresponding revenue. But you notice that if I come back to this dashboard that we're working with, this is a column chart, not a bar chart. So all you have to do to swap this from this way to this way, just come here. You can see this. These are the top. These are the top. Swap rows and columns. Just click on it. And you're good to go. And you're good to go. So, Clement, everything that we're using on this call is going to be provided. Then you'll notice this is at the side, but I want it at the center. The same process. You can either change it from here. You see alignment, then place it at center. Then you're good to go. Then, if I want to see my profits too, I want to see my profits, all you have to do, where you have profits now, you just have to, you notice this was for revenue now. You can say I added the label for revenue. Now this is for profits. All you have to do is your profits, drag it and place it in tables. Then you cannot see it clearly. That's because of the color. All I have to do now is to click on this, then the same process. Highlight it, change the color to something else and make it bold. Change to Tableau bold. You want to reduce the size, reduce it and apply. So this is it. Very easy. Then I don't need this customer type that I can see clearly. Right click and hide. So you are done with this chart now. Sales/profits by customer type. So the last chart that we are going to create now is this map chart that shows each of the regions and the profit. So you see how fast this was. Why? Because we were working smart and not hard. So I'm just going to right click, then duplicate this, then call this profits by Control A. This is my profits by states. By states. Then enter. I don't need this. Just take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Take this out. Take this out. Then you have a blank sheet. So I want to see a relationship between the different states that I have and then the corresponding profits. All you now have to do is your state, just drag it in. It's going to take a while to load. But now, my map is grayed out. My map is grayed out. Nothing is showing that, oh, it's actually depicting that this is a country. But if you look at this bottom here, you can see 34 unknowns. All right, this profit by state, you can see 34 unknowns here. That means that Tableau does not understand that, oh, you're actually referring to Nigeria. That's it. You are referring to this country in Africa. All you now have to do not panic when you have this error. Just come here, click on 34 unknowns. Then click on edit location. You see this comes up. It's still in United States. That's why Tableau could not recognize that, oh, Abuja is in Nigeria, or Bayelsa is in Nigeria, or Benue, or Borno. No. So you now have to come back here. The same way we change the currency from dollars to naira. That's exactly what you're doing here. I'm going to come here, then type Nigeria. Then click on this, and you're good to go. Then you still see state one issue. If I come to the issue now, you see Abuja is unrecognized. It's not for you to worry. Just calm down and see, oh, that means Tableau doesn't understand that Abuja is somewhere in Nigeria. So you just have to click on this. And I might not really know what to do here. That's if you are viewing this for the first time. But then you can see this drop down here that's prompting you to click on it. Just click on it. You see. Then everybody knows that FCT Abuja. So you just have to come here, click on this, And okay, so now my map had been recognized. So all I did was I clicked on show me, then I clicked on a field map, because what do I want to see? I want to see the different, I want to see an area whereby the thicker the color, the more the profit in that region. So all I did was, after working on my 36 unknowns, so let me control it. After working on my 36 unknowns, all I did, the reason why you are seeing this bar here is because there's a bar here. Because bar is thick, there's no need for you to panic. All you have to do is change it to a feedback. That's this one. Then I am going to drag my profits into color. Why? Because I want the thicker the color, the more profits in that region. All right. So I don't want this color code, the same process we've been doing previously. Click on color, edit color. You can change it from here. Let's say I want to use a black thing. I'm going to click on this. Okay. Then I don't want, okay, let me remove this from custom. I want a single color. If you notice, there are two colors here, but I just want only one black. If I click on this drop down, and I will need to first change it to a single color first of all. You notice there are two colors here. I click on this drop down, change it to, let's say, green. That's a single color before coming here and then changing it to black. So you see how easy this is. Then I'm going to click on OK, then apply. What do you now notice now? You see this come here, this sum profit. That means as the color is increasing, the profit is increasing. Then another thing is, if you want to make it steps, you can see the steps color here. If you want to make it, oh, let me create a grade, all you have to do, click on this. Then you can see it is now in different levels. If you want to increase it, if you want to reduce it, you just click on, select the particular number you want, apply, and okay. Or if you don't want it, you can remove it totally, Ctrl Z, and then just have your chart like this. All right. And I also want to include the state label here, because anybody seeing this might not really know that, oh, this actually is this state. This is this state. So what you have to do in this scenario, your state, drag it to your label, and you have it here. You see how sweet, how easy this is. So if I want to change the color now, all I have to do, come to label, the same process, come here, control, highlight everything. Then I can change the color. Then I can change the font. I can reduce it. And okay. Then the last thing before we are done with this chart is, if you want to remove, if this background is white and you don't like it, you want it to be dark, and you feel it to be suitable like that for your dashboard, all you have to do is this map that you're seeing here at the top, this top here, that you can see map, click on background layers, then change this from light to dark. All I did was this map, click on it, background layers, change this from light to dark, and you are good to go. So one thing that we've not been doing previously is saving our file, because if your Tableau shuts down, everything that you have worked on previously will be done, will be lost. So all of your efforts with the different chat is going to be gone. So to do this now, to save this file, come to File, then save to Tableau Public. So it's going to prompt you to enter the name of the project or sign in. From the video that you're going to get on how to download Tableau Public, you're going to get a guideline on how to install Tableau and how to create your logins. And if it's prompting you to log in, all you need to do is enter your username and then your password. So if I click on Tableau Public now, it's going to prompt me to enter the name of the file. So I'm going to name this to data analysis with Tableau, then save. So Tableau is then going to save this. It's going to save this file. Just wait for it to load and we are good to go. So just wait for it. But I hope that we have been full. I hope that we've been learning new things. All right. So let me just close. I hope we've been learning new things that we can now deploy when we get this recording. So I need a one in the chat. Let's say we are moving on to combining all these charts in our dashboards. I need a one in the chat. Let me see that we've been listening to me and then we've been following. Oh wow, that's good. That's good. Abdul, Shegun, Obianoju, Abayomi, Godwin, Del, Ola. That's interesting. I'm happy that we are learning. That's the reason why we are here. So I mentioned before, once you know how this formatting works, it's very easy. You can play with it. You can create your own visual and you'll be good to go. So what we are going to do now is we are going to be inserting a dashboard. You see this one? This is for at the bottom of my screen, at the right bottom of my screen. Yes, at the bottom right of my screen, rather. You can see this. This one is to insert a new sheet. Then this one is to insert a new dashboard. So I'm going to click on this. Then you're going to see this. Just follow me closely. Just follow me close. This is just same thing with formatting. I'm going to change this size. I'm going to change this to 1580. This is the standard size I use most times. And I'm going to change this to 800. So anyone that works for you. Then you have your tiled and you have your floating. Let me just explain this so that we'll see clearly. For your tiled, these are called your Tableau objects. If I drag in, you notice I'm clicked on tiled. If I drag in this here, what do you notice? It's going to fill the entire space. But to remove this is just to cancel it here. Click on this X sign. But if I click on floating and then I drag this here, note it's floating, right? You can move it anywhere. That's the main difference between tiled and floating. All right. So what I want to do now is, because my background is an image, if you look closely, this background is an image. I want to bring in the image into Tableau. All I have to do is click on image, ensure that it is tiled because I want that to be fixed. Then drag your image here. It's going to prompt you, oh, you need to insert your image. Where do you want to insert the image? So I'm just going to click on choose. Then navigate to where your image is. So I have my image here. I'm going to click on this and then open. So I'm going to click on fit to center, fit image, center, and apply. Okay, so we can see our image here clearly. Then the last thing that I want us to do before we start inserting our charts, right? There's something called inner and outer padding. That's this spaces here. That if you don't want to see it, all you have to do is come here. You can see this outer padding, these spaces. Come here, click on this drop down. All I did was I clicked on layout, then I came here and changed it to 0. Just follow me. When you go through this video, right? When you go through this video, you are going to be able to do it. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of our dashboards. All right. You're going to get to this, you're going to go through this video, you're going to settle down, and then you're going to replicate this. So then another thing, I'm going to click on tiled also. You notice this padding comes into play. I'm going to click on this drop down, change it to 0. It's just formatting. Nothing for you to be complex, nothing for you to be worried about, or nothing so complex. Then I'm done. All I need to do now is to bring in my various charts. Or even before I bring in my various charts, then you can see this white background. If you want to change it to something entirely different, all you have to do is come to your dashboard, come to format, then change the background to any color that you want. You see that white has changed to this. All right. So all I need to do is to now start bringing my charts in one after the other. And then we are done with this dashboard, totally done, and we'll be good to go. So note, I'm going to change this from tiled to floating. Why? Because if I drag in this, it's going to be in a fixed position. But I don't want that. I want a situation whereby I can move it around my chart. So I'm going to change this from tiled to floating. Then what do I need? The first thing, you're going to see all of your sheets here. All I need to do, drag this here. Then resize it. And we are done. You know why this will be faster for you? Because you have done all the formatting that you need. You've done them in the individual charts. If not, you now have to go through the process of formatting each one individually. And that's going to cost us time. And work smart, not hard, right? So you can work hard in scenarios, but when you have the opportunity to work smart, ensure you do. So I'm just going to click on this and move it to this place because that's the design of my dashboard. That's the design of that I chose for my dashboard. Notice it is over here. All right. Then the next chart that we have, total orders, just drag it in. Then resize it. This is it. Then the next one, profits, drag it in. Then resize it. Let me move this and resize it. I'm going to place it here. This is my total profit. Then my total sales, drag this in. Then resize this. So we are going to do this for all of the charts and we are done. My gender, I'm going to drag it here. Then resize this. So I don't need this, I'm going to take it out. If you notice now, the color for this is not showing. All you have to do now is you can either right click, format, then your text. You can change it from here, or the easy way is this arrow. When you click on this, it takes you to the sheet. You notice I clicked on that tiny arrow and it took me to that sheet there. Let me go back to my dashboard. This arrow here, you can see it clearly. Go to sheet. I'm going to click on this. Then what I need to change now is the color of my label. So all I need to do, click on label, come here. Note it is still black. Control A to highlight everything. Then change it to another color. Apply. Okay, if you want to make it bold, if you want to change this to Tableau bold or change it to 8, then apply it. And we're good to go. So I'm going to come back to my sheets and this is ready. Next thing I'm going to do, payment option, I'm going to drag it in. I want this at this edge. If there's any amendment that you need to make, you can now take it back to your dashboard. Take it back to that sheet and edit it. So I don't need, let me just resize this. I don't need this. I'm going to take it out. Then for my dashboard design, for my dashboard sketch, you see why your sketch is very important. I have sales / profit by customer. So all I need to do is, where do I have sales / profit? Yes, this is it. So I'm going to drag it here. Then resize it. This is it. Then what do I need again? I need my state here, sales by state. Okay, sales by, okay, this is my sales by category. So I'm going to just extend this and resize it. Resize this here. So to fill this space. Note, this is the assignment that will be giving us, right? When you're working on this, go back to this sheet and change this to million. Because I don't want this. Change this case, not really communicating anything. This is the assignment I'm giving us. Change this to million and make it just 2 decimal places. Then, profits by state. So just drag it in and place it here. This is it. I'm going to just resize this. This is my profit by state. Then this is your legend. So I'm going to place this over here at the bottom. I'm going to just resize this and place it over here. Then the last thing that we need to do, we need to insert is the last chart that we have. Where is it? Yes. By salesperson. And we are done. But you notice one thing. Okay. You notice one thing now. We cannot really see this. You cannot really see this text. You can either go back to the sheet, then right click, format, change this color to something else. You can reduce the size and make it bold. And you're good to go. If I go back to my dashboard now, this is it. This has been updated. All right, so we are done with this dashboard. So you see how interesting this is. You see how flexible this is. Once you know how to insert once you know your formatting, right? Once you know your formatting, I'm going to move this over here. Once you know your formatting, you are good to go. You'll be surprised at the charts that you can create with Tableau, because I see a lot of conventional dashboard and I'm like, Tableau can do so much more. You can do so much more with Tableau. You just need to push yourself and have the right guidance. You just need to know what to do. So let me just move this over. Okay, sorry, let me move this over here. Let me move this to the top. Then let me move this over here. So that was like an error on my part. Then if I want to insert 10 Analytics logo, all I need to do, I'm going to close this, come here, drag image in. It's going to prompt you to insert your image. Then I'm going to choose image, navigate to where I have this logo. Then click on it, open. Then apply, click on OK. So you're going to see this logo here. All you now have to do is resize. Then move it over to this top. Then resize it very well so it fits. And you're good. If I don't want this heading, I only want people to know that, oh, this is profit and then this is loss. I'm just going to right click and untick it out. So I now have just my profit and my loss showing. So all you have to do is this. We already know how to do this. I'm not going to do this for us. The first assignment is change this to millions. That's one. Then go back and change this color. We've done this repetitively, so you should be able to do that. So the last thing that I'm going to do now, and we're done with this dashboard, is the name, Jumanji Overview Dashboard. So I'm going to come to text. Notice the objects that you have here. We've used image, and then we want to use text down. So I'm going to drag this in. Note, it is floating. So it's going to prompt you to enter. What do you want to write? So I want to write Jumanji, enter, overview, enter, dashboard. So the same thing, I'm going to highlight everything. Come here. You can use any font that you want. If I want to use Tableau Black, then if I want to change the color to something else, or, okay, let's work with this. Or if you want to paste any of the colors that we've been using before, you can see this here. Exactly. So this is very interesting. So I can come back here and then, where's the orange that we're working with? So this is it. Or Control C. Come here, Control V. Then, okay. Then, if I want to centralize it, this is it. I want to make it bold. I want to increase the font. Apply, and okay. So you have this here, Jumanji Overview Dashboard. And we are done. And we are done. You have successfully created your first dashboard in your mind. All right. So did we learn? I need a response in the chat. Did we learn something today? Did we learn something interesting? Did we learn something unusual? Exactly. So thank you so much, Fred. Thank you. And so the interesting thing now is you are going to get this recording. You're going to get these slides. You're going to get this data set. So I want you to replicate this. I want to see the amazing dashboards that you have created. Why? Because when you do this more than once, you're going to get so perfect, so good. And people will be surprised that, oh, if I give this to anybody, they will not believe that this is actually Tableau. But then we can see that this is Tableau. So if you want to put this in a presentation slide, you can screenshot it or use a snipe tool. So just search for how to screenshot with your laptop and you'll be good to go. Yes, to make it interactive. When you click on this cell, on this chart, you see this filter here. Click on it. It's going to filter everything in your chart. If I come here and click on female, it's going to edit everything on my chart to female. So this, let me just untick it back. But if I want this to be interactive now, click on it, then this filter, click on this. If I click on cash now, everything on my chart is going to be very interactive. So I want us to play with this. Okay, so sorry. I want us to play with all of this, everything that we've learned. Get your hands dirty and you will be good to go. Trust me. So moving forward now, I want to best believe that we can see my slides. I want to best believe, can we see my slides? Let's confirm that we can see my slide. I need a 1 in the chat if you can see my slide clearly. Interesting. So at the end of this session, when you get this recording, I want you to replicate everything here and screenshot it and then send it and tag 10 analytics. So I'll say that, oh, a lot of persons actually learned a lot in this session. Okay, so moving forward, you know, I mentioned that we have different packages for you. That's aside you learning how to create this amazing dashboard. So just give me a moment, let me go. All right, so the full stack data scientist program. Right, so this is one of the amazing programs offered here at 10 Analytics. And yes, you are going to get the recording for this session. You will get the slides, you will get the data set, you will get the dashboard background also. Just ensure that you fill out the attendance form. Now, moving forward, just follow me. This Tableau dashboard that you learned today is just one of the things that you're going to learn when enrolled for the full stack data science program here with 10 Analytics. So you see, you're going to get 100% online learning. So from the comfort of your home, you don't need to worry about, oh, I actually need to get to my class or I need to physically go there. No, you're going to move from the comfort of your home. You're going to be acquiring this knowledge. So you get hands-on practical sessions, you get lifetime access to materials and experts. That's the important thing. Trust me, if you want to learn Tableau, you can spend a lot of time. You can spend a year trying to become a Tableau developer and trying to explore all of these resources. So one thing that we do here at 10 Analytics is we provide you with current trends. Now, what is currently happening in Tableau? What is the latest update that you can use to make your visuals, to make your communication, to make your insight extremely amazing? So as I mentioned, 100% online learning, you get lifetime access to materials, and the most important one, you get to work on projects. Because if I am hiring you, if I am a recruiter and I want you to work in my company, I need to see if you are capable enough or if you've done projects previously. And one thing that we hammer on is all of our courses are project-based. So you can work your hands, so you can test yourself and see, oh, how exactly am I going to derive insights? How exactly is my thought process? So you can see 100% online learning, practical sessions and videos, lifetime access to experts and materials, then projects, and most importantly, you're going to have an internship. So you're going to have an internship that you add to your CV and know that, oh, this person has actually worked with 10 Analytics as a data science consultant. And you can see the average salary of a data scientist in the UK is £60,000. You can clearly see it here. So moving forward, how do I become a full stack data scientist? So it's not just Tableau. Tableau is just one aspect that you use for your visuals. So you're going to start from statistics. Statistics is the foundation of machine learning. It is very important as a data scientist. Yes, scientists, yes, you are very interested. Oh, I know how to use Tableau now. I know how to do EDA, but then it's a whole package. All right, you need to start from the basics and then build on that knowledge. Why? It is very, very necessary. So you start from statistics, you will learn Excel. That's one. Excel and Tableau for predictive analytics. Trust me, if I show you Excel dashboards, you'll be surprised that we can actually do this with Excel. You will be very, very amazed that, oh, I can actually insert an image and make my dashboard extremely nice with Excel. It's the same way we did this for Tableau. We can replicate this exact same dashboard in Excel. You'll be surprised. So moving forward, you're going to learn SQL, the structured query language. As a data scientist, you will be given access to, let's say, a database. You need to know how can you communicate with that database and then query out whatsoever data you need before you proceed to even clean your data, before you proceed to now even visualize your data. So it's a learning process. So after SQL, you're going to be learning Python programming. So you see, it's a full package. We are starting from the basics, that's statistics, to Tableau, to SQL, and then Python. Now, moving forward, you are going to now specialize in computer vision. That's after learning, after machine learning. That's after predictive analytics. So you see how interesting, how amazing this is. Now, moving forward, you now become a master data scientist. So you'll be certified. You receive your certificate. Now, you are officially a master data scientist from or with Analytics. All right. So moving forward, this is like an overview of this program. You're going to be learning statistics, Excel, Tableau, SQL, Python, data visualization, machine learning, and then finally, computer vision. And the interesting thing is we are up with the latest trend. How to use ChatGPT, how to use Microsoft Fabric, and how to use, Copilot in your day-to-day life as a data scientist. And one thing that's very important is you can know how to use these tools. You can know how to use Excel, you can know how to use SQL, but that's just 50%. That's to be honest. If you know how to analyze, that's what I was saying initially. If you know how to do your amazing EDA, explore your data, but you don't know how to communicate your insights via your visuals or via your presentation and the way you speak and the way you talk, that is going to be null. All of your analysis is going to come to naught. So one of the things that we do hammer on here is there's the 50% learning process, and then there's the other 50% where you learn how to position yourself in the public, where you learn how to position yourself as a data science professional. Okay, so moving forward, some of the projects, some of the real life projects that you'll be working on during the course of this training program. I mentioned initially, it's not just you knowing the skills, all right? But your recruiter will want to see what exactly have you done. Can we see your work so we know that, oh, you're not jeopardizing the project that we are working on? What have you done? Now, this is an overview of some of the projects, some of the real life case studies that you're working on. And you're going to have this added to your portfolio. So anybody that reaches out that wants to check and see if this is a data scientist, the person will know that, oh, you are actually a professional, you've worked on projects, and you are tested and trusted. Now, moving forward, this is still an overview of the project that you are going to work on. And you're going to add this to your portfolio. That's while you're undergoing this training, you're going to put your status as a data science consultant here with Analytics. Why? Because you are going through this live project and then you are providing your insights, providing your recommendations for these organizations. So moving forward, this is still an overview of the projects that you are going to work on. So you see how full packed this is, right? So during the course of your training program, you're going to get to watch me do videos. I'll teach you, oh, how exactly do I create my GitHub page? How exactly do I now upload whatsoever project that I have worked on? So you will do that during the course of your training program. Now, your learning roadmap, all right? So you have 4 months learning. That's, you have your live classes, then you have your virtual internship. Then moving forward, you have access to industry-led professionals. That's very important. Why? Because instead of you, yes, I can see Steven's message in the chat. Yes, there's a certification. So instead of you now spending so much time on YouTube trying to learn how you can visualize with Tableau, trying to learn how you can format, you have access to professionals that have gone through this process. So it's going to be very, very easy for you to just learn. That's one thing that we hammer on here at Analytics. You don't have to spend so much time. You don't have to spend 2 years, 3 years, 5 years trying to learn a tech skill. In just 4 months, that's your 3 months of live classes, and then your month of internship, you'll be good to go. So moving forward, we have 2 sets of classes. For the morning session, if you are currently under the Europe time zone, and the evening session, that's from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you can clearly see from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. what, and then from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. what. So if you are saying, oh, I'm not comfortable, why? Because 4 p.m. Nigerian time or 4 p.m. the normal okay, what time is like 11 a.m. or it's something extremely different in my time zone and I really will not be able to learn. So we have 2 sessions that covers that for you. Now, moving forward, finally, you will learn how to position yourself. Trust me, I cannot emphasize this. Yes, you know how to code. Yes, you are a professional at what you're doing, but if you cannot accurately communicate to your audience, if you cannot accurately position yourself in the public, in the text space, trust me, everything is going to be null. And that is the full package you'll be getting in the full stack data science program. Now, moving forward, you know, earlier I mentioned that you learning all the skills is just 50% of your trading program. The other 50%, what you are going to be learning is your CV review sessions. That's one. So let's say that you have applied for a job now, and or rather, before you even apply for a job, you're going to speak with a professional on how exactly you can arrange your CV, how you can structure your CV in a way that you are going to get shortlisted for that job. And aside your CV review session, you have your LinkedIn optimization session. I say it all the time. If you are a working class professional and you do not have a LinkedIn profile, you are wrong. You're extremely wrong. Because before anybody is going to call you for, let's say, your second stage of interview or your first stage, they're going to go to LinkedIn and they're going to search, who is this person? Does this person have a public profile? So we know that this person is authentic. All right. Then you get your Upwork session. This is how, if you are interested in freelancing, you're going to learn how you can optimize Upwork and get gigs on Upwork. Then we have special sessions, your mentorship sessions. I speak to participants a lot. Whatever you do, these sessions are very, very important. Why? Because we get external professionals that will come speak to you, come tutor you on their learning journey that, oh, this is actually what I did to navigate this space, and this is how I succeeded. So we have past students that have gotten their jobs. They will come and they will speak to you on the techniques and the methods they took in positioning themselves also. Then we have recommendation or reference letter. So if you are applying for a job or you're going for your master's and then you need a recommendation. So long that you are a student and you're active in class, you're going to get this. Because whoever wants to employ you want to know, can any organization vouch for you or for what you've done? So we offer recommendations/preference letters to all of our students. Then finally, job and interview preparation. So if you've applied for a job and then let's say your interview is scheduled for next week, you have the liberty to book a session with any of the senior data associates where we walk you through what to say, what not to say, what is required, how you position yourself, and then how you communicate on the day of your interview, how you speak eloquently, and how you are bold when you are communicating to your prospective employer. All right. And no, your internship is free. You have 3 months of live classes and then 1 month of free internship. So this other 50% is very, very necessary. You're going to work on projects and presentations that's going to build how you communicate, how you speak to people, how you can be in a crowd of over 200 persons and you can accurately speak to them without being shy or without being, like, say, scared. Yes. So moving forward, when you take this training program, you can work as a data analyst, you can work as a data engineer. You know, most times some of these roles just have names and then the job description is actually matters. So when you go through this training program and during your internship session, you're going to get a list of roles that you can apply for as a data scientist. So you see how packed this is. You're getting 50% of classes. That's the first 50% is for classes. Then the other 50% is for how you can position yourself and techniques that you need to take. Now, this is very important. I mentioned this previously. Your internship program. So recruiters will want to know, what have you done? How do we know that, oh, you worked on a project? How do we know that, oh, this person is authentic? So you going through your internship, you're going to work on projects and you're going to derive insights and recommendations that is going to make your portfolio stand out. All right, you're going to get this slide, you're going to get everything at the end of this session, so you can go over it. Then, moving forward, you can work as a freelancer or you can work remote. That's the interesting thing. From the comfort of your home, that's the amazing thing about being in tech. From your house, you can have your workspace and you can work comfortably, right? So for example, if you're on LinkedIn before now as a medical doctor and so we have a LinkedIn optimization session. So these kind of questions come up very, very, very frequently, right? So there's an interlude between a data scientist and medicine. So you're going to now experience this during your LinkedIn optimization session, where the professional is going to speak to you and lecture you on how you can optimize your LinkedIn page to include data science. Now, moving forward, top sites that you can get a job. So you are going to be learning this also during your mentorship sessions, how you can search for jobs on LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Remote.co, Upwork, and the rest. So you're going to be learning how you can navigate these sites, what you need to do, what you need to register for to be able to attract jobs. Now, moving forward, there is a global demand for tech talent. Trust me, some people are saying, oh, the tech space is populated. What should I do? What should I do? I don't know if I should join. The earlier, the better. That's the thing. Why? Because the world is changing every single day. There's a new update always coming up. So why not join the trend? And if you want to relocate, this is like the sharpest means. Why? You can get a job as a tech talent, and there's like a high demand for this professional. So this is the package that you'll be getting for the full stack data science program. And then your facilitators. I know we've met, if you've attended any of our masterclass sessions before, you would have met Epimina, or probably on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or their website, you would have met Epimina. Epimina is a co-founder here at Analytics and is an amazing professional. Trust me, that's one thing that we hammer on here at Analytics. So you get the slides and you can connect on LinkedIn and you'll be able to reach out and be able to now communicate with the professionals that you have. So this is my humble self. I am Esther Gena Brahima. I've done an introduction at the beginning of the session. And we also have Toma. Toma is a very seasoned professional. So if you are going to be joining this training, you're going to be meeting all of these persons and you're going to be interacting and learning from them. So this is Obina, he's a data scientist and he has 6 years experience, right? Over 6 years experience working in this field. So you are learning from professionals. You're learning from people that are working in the field. So also, we have Ibrahim, is a marine engineer, is a machine learning engineer rather. And I know somebody was asking just now, how do I marry both data science and then medicine? This is a perfect example. You know, there's bioinformatics, right? So just go and research on bioinformatics. That's the interlude between tech and then the medical field. All right, so these are things that you'll be learning. Now, moving forward, these are a couple of your facilitators that you'll be meeting during the course of this training program. You get this slide and then you can communicate with them and learn from them. All right, so now, these are some of the projects that you'll be working on. You know, your specialization is in computer vision. So you can see these are our previous students, and they've successfully done this project. You'll be surprised. So you can create a hand detection system that when you sit in front of your computer, to be able to detect that, oh, okay, this is actually the hand, or this person is moving, or this is the face. So I mentioned all of our programs are beginner friendly. So taking you from the basics, that's why we are starting from statistics till you now grow to other aspects of the training. Now, moving forward, all right? So all of this training, everything that you're getting, that's for your internship, for your LinkedIn organization session, for your CV review session, for your mentorship session, for your navigating the job market session, everything, plus your live classes and access to professionals, everything is just 320,000 naira. That's to register for the full stack data science program. But you know the interesting thing, for you being in this session, for you being in this session, we are going to be having a discount. We're going to be having a discount for you, right? We're going to be having a discount for the first 20 persons to make payments. So imagine this full package. This is the cheapest that you will get anywhere. And imagine this full package for just 320,000 naira. But now we are offering a discount for the first 20 persons. So if you're on this call, ensure that you are among the first 20 persons to make this discount, joining our program starting on the 2nd of September. So we have a new course that is starting the 2nd of September. So all of this, you will be surprised that, oh, before the year runs out, I am a professional. I know how to use Tableau. I know how to develop an amazing dashboard. I know how to communicate my insight, and you'll be good to go. So note, this discount is just for the first 20 persons. And then the amazing thing, you can make installments. So you have a first payment of 180,000 naira, and then your final part payment that you pay after a month of 90,000 naira. So if I was you, I would hop on this train and I'm not going to miss it. All right, so you have a discount running for the first 20 persons, and once that discount closes, so if I recall clearly, it's ending on the 22nd of this month. So once that discount ends, or once we reach the first 20 persons, you are going to have to pay the original fee, because we have scenarios whereby when it's probably like 1st or 31st of August, we have participants messaging that, hi, Varma, I'm from the masterclass session. What do I do? What do I do? Is the discount stay on? But unfortunately, it is not on. All right. So if you follow this link, you'll be able to see our account details. So let me just do this now so it will be clear for us. Let me click on this. So if you follow the link that my colleague is sending to the chat, it's going to take you over here. I want to best believe that we can see my screen clearly. I need a comment in the chat if you can see my screen clearly.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. So this is, I really do not know why this is taking a while. But basically, it's going to take you to this main start link. So while this is processing, we have 2 participants on the call. That's, we have Anthony. Hi, Anthony, how are you doing? And then we have Gideon.
Hi,
All right,
Grandpa.
so
good evening.
yeah, it's so nice to hear from you and speak to you again.
It's so nice to see you doing the things that you do for us in the class, or you did for us in the class,
Interesting. So
Yeah,
Anthony is one of our participants, and he will just be, let's say, speaking to us this evening. So go on, Anthony. And can we see you? Is it possible that we see you?
Yeah, what did you just say?
I said, is it possible that we see you?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I can see you clearly now.
Okay, but what did you say? I didn't get the last line.
No, I said, is it possible that we can see you? Yeah, so we can see you clearly now. Oh, I want you to just give us an overview of your experience so far, and any recommendation that you will have for participants that are interested in going through this training program.
Well, I must say that it's a lovely experience that I had. I joined Analytics in April. I was once in this masterclass session, and I got on the train, and the very first week, I built a fantastic dashboard. If only I could show you, and you'll be amazed. But thanks to our coaches, Brahma, one of them. So it was a lovely time. And from that Excel dashboard, we moved on to all the topics that have been highlighted for you. Everything that has been said here tonight, it was exactly the same thing that we did. And fast forward to today, I can tell you that I can build machine learning models that can actually predict, what could happen for companies about their customers, and to detect fraud and the likes. These are things that we learned. And within these 4 months, we've been able to do a lot. It takes a lot of commitment as well on your part, but we had the weekend classes, we had the WMDI videos that will put you through. Mr. Femila did a wonderful job. It's like, trying to teach a baby what to learn. And just by watching those things, we'll take you through the practical stuff that you need to learn. And it broke down, coding that people would think it's so hard to do or so hard to learn. And I can tell you today, I am confident with what I've learned and I'm putting it into work. So I would recommend that you should get into this program without wasting any more time. If I must add, there is a passion that analytics people have, facilitators, that they have. They want us to get the best. They go all the way, bringing out professionals to talk to us about how to build our CV, to talk to us on how to get our profile on Upwork, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth, just to see that we get jobs. And people are already getting jobs. People are getting jobs. They walk you through all through these things, and you can be sure that by the time before you end this program, if you are really, really keen on it, you get a job anyway. And I'm so glad that I came across the analytics. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much for taking our time to join us on the call. It's nice to see you again. That's actually been a while. All right, so have a good evening. Thank you.
Just left us.
Okay.
Well, we are good. Yeah, thank you.
Take care. So that was Anthony, one of our current participants in the April cohort. So we have Gideon also. Hi, Gideon. Gideon is currently one of my very good students. All right. So hi, Gideon. You're muted if you are speaking. Gideon, can you hear me clearly? You are muted if you are speaking. So as I mentioned before, you are going to ensure you fill the attendance form. All right. So when this recording is done processing, you will get the mail along with the slides, along with the hyperlink that has the data, and then a screenshot of the dashboard so you can replicate this. So as I mentioned before, while I was explaining this main stack link, when you click on this, it takes you to our enrollment details. If you want to see our brochures that's having like an overview of the different programs that we offer, all you need to do is to click on this, and then it takes you here. So you can see the Power Platform program, data analytics, business analysis, full stack data science program, then HRO analytics. You can see when you click on this, it's going to give you an overview of each individual program. Now, when you scroll down, you can make payments. And when you make payments, you have to upload your proof. That's your receipt of payment, so that we'll know that, oh, you have actually sent in your details. And then we can now send you your welcome kit containing all of your materials. That's all you need to install, all of the processes, all of the videos that you need to get you ready for class. As I mentioned, this discount is just for the first 20%, right? So if you're not among the first set of persons, you would have to revert to the original price of 320,000 naira. So I can see a message in the chat. If you do have questions and you want to speak, you can raise up your hand, so we'll be taking questions, and you can also send into the chat. So one of the career paths for a data scientist is a data engineer. Note, that's from what Joel is saying. This is specific to your job description. Trust me, you would see different job role names. But then again, when you check the job description, you're going to see this is the role of a data scientist. This is what I can do, right? So that's one thing that we hammer on during your mentorship session is we share you a PDF file, a file that contains the different roles that you can apply for as a data scientist, and then you proceed with your applications. All right, so moving forward, our achievements in 2022, you can see that we helped We helped a lot of persons get job. We helped about over 500 persons get job for the past year. And some of our participants, this is where they've now gone to work on. These are the companies that they've gone after completing this program. They've gone to work in these different organizations. So you can see MTN, Uber, Dangote, GT Bank, QBA, Zenith, and all. And the interesting thing is during your mentorship session, you are going to be getting this interaction. So you are going to be getting this slides, and then you'll be seeing the impact that we've created, how we've helped people, how we are driven towards not just you learning these skills, but you being able to put yourself out there and solve a problem for your society. All right. So this is one of the hackathons that we had this year for our alumni. So we had notable judges come speak and come look at what these participants are doing and offer them advice on how to improve. All right. So moving to our participant testimonials and feedback. So we had just, okay, Gideon. I think Gideon has network issues. That's why it cannot really speak up. But then again, if we were to place all of our participants on this slide is going to be so long, and we'll not leave here, we'll not end this session today. So you can see Ebube sent me this message. She sent me this message. She mentioned that, oh, she has been busy, but she just got a job as a data scientist with NHS. So imagine a full-time job as a data scientist while still undergoing the training. She was not even done when I received this WhatsApp message from her that, oh, she actually got a job. Now, this is Ubong. This is Ubong. So you see how you are not just going to be learning the 50%, but how you can now position yourself, and then you are able to earn a job. All right, so Ubong landed a job with Cognizant as a full-stack data scientist. Now, moving forward, we have Idris. He got a full-time job with Jaguar in the UK as a data engineer. That's after completing the full-stack data science program. So you see, when we say your job description matters, it's not just a name, but then again, they will place a name, but you see the job description, and it is for you as a data science professional. All right. So moving forward, these are what our participants have posted of their job. Now I mentioned, if we are to go over this, we are not going to leave here. So you can just go on LinkedIn and search for 10 analytics. All right. So you're going to see an overview of the difference of what our participants are doing, and the amazing thing, the amazing knowledge that they've acquired just by registering for this program. So this is Abdul Rashid, right? So Abdul Rashid now comes back frequently, right? So during your CV review sessions, you are going to meet Abdul Rashid. You know why? He was a student previously, but after completing the training, he got a job, and he's now coming back to mentor participants that, oh, this is what I did. This is what you're going to do. So he's currently in Nigeria, working remote from his house and working for a company in the US. So after completing this training program, so you see how fully packed a program is. So there are a lot of testimonials. You'll be getting these slides so you can play it and see exactly what our participants have done. So you can see clearly. You can see, as I mentioned, if we were to play this entire slide, if we were to include all of the testimonials that we have, you are not going to leave here. All right. So take advantage of the discount that we have. It is just for the first 20%. And yes, you might say, oh, the year is already fast spent. I don't know if I should proceed. I don't know if I can do this. The thing is, with the right guidance, with the right resources, with the right access to professionals, you'll be able to upskill, because that's the whole essence of all of this. We want at the end of this training, you'll be in a better position from where you were or from your previous state. You're going to not just upskill, but your communication skills, your presentation skills, how to interact with people, and then the technical skills also, the technical aspect. And most importantly, we are going to be in a community. So this program is starting on the 2nd of September. That's next month. That's when the new cohort is starting. So if I was you, I would jump on this and okay, make a change. It's high time you come into tech. Why? It is very necessary because that is the future. That is the future. So you are going to be getting these slides. This is an overview of different feedback that we've gotten from our participants. You can see all what they've done, posting on LinkedIn. As I mentioned before, if you're on this call, prior to starting your program on the 2nd of September, go and open a LinkedIn account. And I saw in chat regarding if you get a certificate. Yes, you are going to get a certificate at the end of your training program to show that, oh, you are a certified master data scientist. You've undergone the process and you can now use these tools and deploy them to create insight and recommendations for whatsoever business you're working for. All right, so you're going to be getting these slides and you're going to be seeing our previous participants that have gone through this program and you can connect with them, right? So in preparation for the course starting on the 2nd of September. So I'll be taking questions now. I can see Steven Sotola. So apologies if I am not pronouncing your name well, but you can unmute yourself and speak up.
All right, thank you. It's actually Steven Shotola.
I'm sorry for that.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
Good evening, and thank you for the session. Briefly, my question is this: as this session is going on, from same data, from same 10 analytics, there
Okay.
is another session like simultaneously going on for data analysis.
Yes.
I was sent the 2 links. So initially I was on data analytics, and then I saw the second link and I was like, oh, which one is this? I'm confused. Let me go into this. Then I posted into you, and then you are talking about data science. And I'm like, okay, what's the difference between data analytics and data science? And then for someone like me who is just coming into the tech space without prior knowledge, and that was why I asked that question. Does it come with certification, just like you have said? Because I don't know if the data analytics tool comes with certification.
All of our programs come with certifications.
Okay, great. So, but based on your own experience and your knowledge, you said as a data scientist, I can work equally as a data analytics or data analyst. But as a data analyst, can you work as a data scientist? That is number one. Then number two, based on your
number one, go on.
Yeah, based on your experience, which would you advise? Because now I have 2: data analysis, data science. The only common denominator there is data. You understand? So I don't know which one to go for that will benefit me the more. So I will just appreciate your insight on this. Thank you so much.
Okay, so from the first one, the main difference between data science and then data analysis. All right, so the different types of analytics, what happened? Why did it happen? What will happen? What will we do now? Just note that those are the 4 different types of analytics. Let me place that into a scenario now. All right, so let's say that you work for a company and then they want to get like an overview of their, let's say this demanding now, they want to get an overview of the sales for the previous year. So what a data analyst does is you're going to perform descriptive, that's what happens, and diagnostic analysis, that's why did that happen? Or if there's a problem, you want to go back in time and then look at their sales and see how can we improve sales this coming year. But now that's for the data analyst, they're going to go in there, perform their visual and then communicate their insights, right? But you as a data scientist, you're not just stopping at descriptive statistics or diagnostic statistics. You are taking it further to now predict. That's from past experiences. How can I predict what our sales will be in the future? So that is where machine learning, if you notice, for the data analysis guys, they do not do Python. They do not, right? But for you as a data science professional, you are now going to include predictive analytics, where you are using the past to predict what is going to be happening in the future. So you're not just doing descriptive, but also diagnostic and then predictive. And at the ending, you're now going to prescribe, oh, what exactly are we going to do? So just note that as a data analyst, you are just answering the question, what happened? Why did it happen? That's the easiest form. Then for a data scientist, you're now going further to now include what exactly is going to happen in the future. That is where machine learning comes into place. So from what has happened in the past, how can you create a machine learning model that is going to predict what is happening in the future? So that's the answer to question 1. Then the answer to question 2, which one should you go for? So we have clarity sessions. All right, so you saw the link to this in the chat. You are also going to get a link to sign up for the clarity session. So you are going to come and speak to us. You're going to speak to professionals in each of the various programs that we offer. And then we're going to get an overview of your background so we can accurately recommend for you what's your next 3 months or your next 4 months, what you'll be investing in. So you just telling me data analysis and data science, which one should I go for? I cannot decipher for you, because 1, you'll be the one going through the training. That's 1. Then 2, you'll be the one investing your time and resources learning. So we need to have an overview of your background, first of all. And I am looking forward to seeing you in the clarity session. So you can come speak to us and then we recommend, oh, okay, that means considering all odds, data analysis is the best fit for you, or data science is the best fit for you. So is that clear? Is that good enough?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Okay. But if you're still unsure, you can send a message to any of the admins. You can send a message to me on WhatsApp, and then we'll proceed further for more clarity. All right. So just send a message to any of the admins, and we'll be sending a link for our clarity session. We're sending a link for our clarity session. So I can see for people who are not in Nigeria and works on weekend, what is our options? All right. So all of our live classes happen during the weekend, except if you can check your schedule and see if 4 to 7, that's the evening session, is going to be free for you. Because you need to, even if you say you want to go through the recording for each class, you want to just go through the recording for the entirety of the program, you're going to miss that direct access to the facilitator, that direct access to asking instructions while in class. All right, so just check your schedule if there's a way around it, and if you can reschedule to having classes 4 to 7. That's why we have 2 sessions, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So I can see Matthew's question, why is the cost the same? It is a standard price. All right, so it now depends on you. Do I want to just stop at data analysis, or do I want to take this a step further and stretch myself and include coding? Because most times some persons do run away from data science because they feel, no, I cannot write any line of code. Let me just stick with data analysis and I'm good to go. But if you want to stretch yourself, you can enroll for the data science program, the full-stack data science program, and that is what I will recommend. All right, so let me take Clement. I think I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So you can unmute yourself and pick up. Clement, you're muted if you're speaking. I cannot really hear you clearly. Okay, so Clement, is it possible for you to send your message in the chat or join me with your audio? I don't know if it's network, but I really cannot hear you clearly at all. All right, so Dozie, your hand is up. So I think I pronounced that name correctly, but your hand is up. Let's take you while Clement is talking out his network.
Hello, Brightman. Good evening. Yeah,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
me?
you clearly, but your voice is a little bit faint.
Is it better now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, so you can proceed.
It's all right. Thank you so much for your exposition on this. I Actually, I have an interest in data science, though my background is environment. So I would like more clarity on the application, as in based on my background, switching into data science. I'm looking at the correlation in terms of what I'm doing at the moment and what that is going to offer. Yeah, much later. I don't know if you can give me some clarity in that regard.
So if I can
That's
get
what I
you
mean is
clearly,
if data science
okay,
has an application in environment,
okay. Okay,
that's what
so
I
thank you
want to
very
know.
much for that.
Thank you
So
so much.
we have Efemina, the co-founder of Analytics, here on the call. Hi, Efemina, how are you doing? You're
I'm
muted.
fine, thank you. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much. I think majority of the questions you've answered absolutely fantastic well. I just wanted to address two things, and okay. I think would you permit me to take Chido's question, really?
Okay.
All right, sorry. I just wanted to interrupt. Sorry for interrupting. I wanted to address some things, but I just felt like I could answer, just address Chido's question alongside it. So, Chidoze, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? Okay, if you just walk me through, you say you work in environment. Environment is quite broad. Okay, so when you talk environment, what are you talking about? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to unmute. So let's have a conversation. All right?
It's okay. Thank you so much. Actually,
Yeah,
at the
sure.
moment, I'm involved in environmental impact assessment. That's basically what I do because my background is environmental management, environmental science and resource management. So I wouldn't want to continue because the way the Nigerian system works, most of the jobs is done under the Federal Ministry of Environment. It's only once in a while they involve the private sector. So that's why I really want to do a career switch into the tech sector. So I just
So
wanted to know.
do you still want to remain in environment, or do you want to use data science within the environment sector? Is that what you're trying to? Is that what you're trying to look for?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to remain in the environmental sector because back here in Nigeria is more like all commerce affair in the
Okay,
sense that your job can be done by environmental health officer,
anybody can
can be
do it.
done by
Really.
anybody. So I just want to do
All
a
right.
switch into
All
the
right.
data.
Fantastic.
Mm,
All right. No, you don't need to mute yourself. I'm just going to be very straight with your question because a lot of
okay.
what people don't understand about the whole scope of data science, data analytics, and all that. Data science as a whole is data science is a skill. All right. Now, the beautiful thing about data science being a skill is that it can be applied to any field you find yourself. All right.
Okay.
Now, looking at environment, okay, there is this, buzzword called sustainability. I'm not sure if that's where you fall into, all right, or you see stuff like sustainability, green energy, and stuff like that. So we have organizations that are now using data science, computer vision, for example, to be able to detect, emissions coming out from car vehicles and stuff like that. All right. You
Okay.
could use data science to build predictive models to find out the current state of probably emissions in a particular state compared to another states and do extrapolation to find out that if this continues, this is likely going to be the impact to the environment. Same thing with oil spillage, same thing with anything literally anything you find yourself. So if you remember early this year, last year, all right, there
Mm,
was there was a lot of fire, there was a lot of fire outbreak, all right, in this within the northern part of Nigeria and also even in the west also, all right.
mm-hmm.
And there was this company, okay, that came on the news. It was on Arise News. If I can remember, if I can find the news, I'll share it. So what they did was they used a drone, okay, all right. They flew a drone to be able to fly over a particular region, okay? But if I remember, I think it's around that Niger Delta region, okay? Gas
Mm,
flaring and all that. So they
yeah.
used the drone to capture the environment, okay? The environment. They took it over a span of just several kilometers, all right? They went back with the footage, and they used, machine learning to identify places that had gas flaring, okay, for the environment. So these things, it can be applied to anything really, all right? It could be anything. It could be forecasting, it could be predictive analytics, it could be computer vision, it could be anything. You know, there was a time also early, sometimes last year, you know, there was a hurricane or something like that, okay? And the funny thing is that they detected it through Twitter comments, okay? They detected it through Twitter comment. And how did they do it? Very simple. So they look back at, you know, all that previous period where there was a hurricane, and they figured out what people tweeted about before the hurricane.
Okay.
And the funny thing was, or not the funny thing, the actual thing that happened was people started guessing kind of the tone, the voice, the text that people were tweeting and all that was used to detect, you know, early detection for when an hurricane was going to, you know, when the hurricane was approaching and stuff like that. So there are quite a number of applications when you look at the environment as a whole. You understand, and it's very holistic, and that's the beauty about it. So you could be in the medical space, you could be an astronaut, you could literally be anything, an accountant, you could be a farmer, you could use it for literally anything. It's a skill that can be applied to any industry you find yourself. So I don't know if that answers your question anyway.
Yeah, actually, you've done justice to it. Thank you so much, Efemina. I really
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
this.
So I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the program so we can see how we can, use
Sure,
this
I will.
to change the environment. All right.
Oh, of course, thank you so much. It's all right.
All right, Chidozie, appreciate that. So the other questions regarding, you know, data analytics, data science, which one is the best for me? And I'll tell you categorically, it's you that will determine the one that works for you. Some people want to program, some people don't want to program. Data analytics, you're not going to be doing any form of programming. All right. So, and Brimas beautifully explained it in the sense that your data analytics, you're focused on two major things, which is descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Now, those words might come off as something too much for you to comprehend, and I'll break it down, you know, to the barest minimum. Now, if you notice, a lot of data analysts, they are requested to do what? To build dashboard. Okay, so you see them building a dashboard, and what does that dashboard represent? The dashboard communicates two things: what happened and why that particular thing happened. All right. So if you see them doing a report on sales performance, the sales performance report or the sales performance dashboard is going to be communicating what were the sales number, what happened last month, what happened 2 months ago, what happened 3 months ago. All right. Compare month-to-month analysis. What happened in February versus what happened in March. Do you understand? Just to tell a story on what happened in the business. Now, the other part of it is diagnostic. If I know what happened, that's not enough. I also want to know why that particular thing happened. That's why you're building a dashboard. That's what we did today. Literally, that's what Brian did today. Building a report, total sales, total performance, total sales per region. So we can see exactly what is happening in these regions. But we also want to go a step further to find out why that particular thing happened. All right. Is it due to an advert? Is it due to a particular communication? Is it due to packaging? Is it due to what is the reasons behind the increase in our sales, an increase in our revenue, or whatever it is? All right. But that's the job of a data analyst. Okay. Now, as a data scientist, on the other hand, you are doing those two things, but you're taking it one step further, which is predictive analytics. So you know what happened, you know why it happened. The next thing is, I want to know what will happen. Yeah, I want to know what will happen in the future, in the sense that I know what happened in January, I know what happened in February, I know why those things happened. I want to know what will happen from March all the way to December. I want to be able to predict what would happen. So that's where you come in, all right, to be able to use statistics, statistical modeling, in order for you to forecast, in order for you to extrapolate what would happen based on historical numbers. All right, so that's where data science comes in. Now, it's the same price, and you know the simple thing about what we're trying to push is very simple and straightforward: is getting more Africans aware and into tech. Okay. So the price of data analytics, data science are the same thing, not because of anything special, but because of the basic reason behind getting Africans aware and getting them into tech. Okay. So you're going to be getting, doing a bit of more programming, data science, predictive analytics, forecasting, and all that in the data science program. All right, you won't be doing that in data analytics. So if you want to program, you want to do machine learning, you want to do statistical forecasting and all that, you will do that in the data science program. And that's just about it. All right. So yes, I think that's just honestly that's it. So I want to tell you guys, please, this is only available for the first 20 people to register. This is only available for the first 20 people to register. It's not till the end of the month. All right. And I usually tell you guys, you can pay in installments. Okay. And the beautiful thing is currently the early bird discount for the first 20 people is what? It's 180,000 naira. Now you can secure your position, secure that discount. All right, secure that discount. Okay, and you can balance off that 80,000 naira. You can even just secure your position with 100,000, and before the 2nd of September, you balance 80,000 naira. So it's not that you're waiting to the end of the month to make that payment. All right, it's you securing your position. Then you can balance up 80,000 naira before the program starts. Now, the balance of 90,000 naira comes, a month into the training program. It comes into a month. It comes, a month into the training program. So you have ample time to prepare, and even we have people getting, opportunities 1 month into the training program. So you can even get a job, very, very possible, and you can use that to offset. Do you understand? So there are quite a number of opportunities you're going to be getting as you go on during the training program. I can bet you there are tons and tons and tons of opportunity. Brahma, do you want to? I don't know if you would permit me to share my screen. I just want to show them, places they can actually get remote opportunities, just to show them that these jobs actually exist. Because a lot of people
yes,
might doubt. All right, okay, thank you very much. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Just for like 5 minutes, ridiculously, so we can wrap up. And tomorrow is Monday. So I'm just going to go to a website called Flex Jobs. All right, Flex. All right, so if you want to flex, this is where you go to get me. All right, so Flex Job, this is remote jobs across the world, literally across the world. You see, the #1 job site to find remote jobs. All right. Now, the beautiful thing about being a data scientist is you can work in a myriad of opportunities. So you learning data science does not mean that you can only work as a data scientist. All right, you can't. It doesn't mean that you can work in in quite a number of business opportunities. But for a start, I'm going to go with data scientists because that's what you would search for normally. All right. So I'm not going to specify a region for a start, but just to show you. All right. So these are remote opportunities, and you see United States, Denmark, Houston, Texas, United States, United National, Indian, Poland, United, and these are all remote opportunities. All right, these are all remote opportunities. Now I can still specify to say I want United States. All right. Okay. All right, and these are all within the United States. These are all United States. Freelance, these are all remote opportunities in the United States. And you can take a look at them, all right, and see all of them. And you need to create a profile anyways to have a look at these remote opportunities and so on and so forth. So you see, these are the things that you get these are the opportunities that you get from going through the training program. Another place you can go to is Glassdoor. Okay. All right. Glassdoor. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with Glassdoor. So going to Glassdoor, just give it a second. It takes a few minutes to load. I'm going to go to jobs. Go to jobs. All right. I'm going to look for data scientists. Okay. I'm going to look at data scientists. This is currently United Kingdom. I'm going to change it to United States. All right. United States. Now, the beautiful thing about applying for remote jobs in the United States is because there are quite a number of opportunities. United States is a very large, you have a large job market. So you are likely going to get opportunities in the United States working remotely. Now, if you do like a quick poll, or if you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you go on Twitter mostly, most tech bros are on Twitter, and you do like a search, ask people that are working remotely, where are they working remotely? They're mostly working for firms in the United States. All right. So you will likely get remote opportunity in United States. And also, I think Australia is another very big place. Australia, Netherlands. These are like really top destinations for you to get remote opportunities. All right. So data scientists in the United States. All right. Now, these are all both remote and full-time and in-office, hybrid and all that. But that's not what we're interested in. We're interested in fully remote opportunity. Now I'm going to click the job where you have more, click the job down, and you see work from home only. All right, I'm going to select that. Okay, and that's it. I can now select the one I was posted in the last day, last 3 days, last week. And you see, just last week, we have 340 jobs that were posted within a week in the last week. Just last week, 340 jobs. And they're fully remote. These are all remote opportunities, data science. Now, these are the things that you'll be doing, all right? You can take a look at them at your own free time, and you see exactly what they're looking for, all right? So what are they looking for? Experience in R, Python, and SQL or SQL. So there's an all there. So either of the two, either of the three. Now you have, definitely we're going to teach you Python and SQL. So you have two covered already. All right. Designing robust, productive statistical analysis. You're going to do all that statistical analysis using Excel, Power BI, Excel, Tableau, Python, machine learning, and so on. All right. Knowledge of common statistical testing techniques, or supervised machine learning, time series analysis, forecasting, everything is covered in the training program. So you will get to learn all these things, and not just learn, you will get to implement. That's the key word. All right. So you see the projects you're working on, they're all real life projects. So projects that I have worked on, projects that other facilitators have worked on. All right. So we redesign them for training purposes. So all the projects you're going to be working on are all industry projects, things that we have done, implemented, either as contractors or freelancers or working full-time for an organization. Those are the things that we have repurposed for training purposes. So those are the things that you should get at the back of your mind. So you're not just going to be working on Titanic data sets or Iris data sets. It's not going to be that. Those are just very, very generic, you understand, projects you work on. So that will not impress a potential employer or recruiter. So what we've done is we've repurposed industry projects. Things that we're doing currently in the industry is what we use in training our participants. All right. So experience in processing large data sets, handling protected patients, you will get to work with all this information and all that. So you see, these are all remote opportunities in the United States. All right. Now, another key thing you should know is this is just the United States. This is literally just the United States. All right. But it doesn't mean that if you're a data scientist in Nigeria, you cannot apply for another country. You can't apply to another country. So once you're finished with the data with the United States, you move to Australia. All right. You move to Australia, all right, and you do the same thing. You look for data science positions, fully remote. All right. We're gonna go for remote. All right. I would also specify that we want the ones that came up, this is a bit less. All right. So in the last week we have 11. So it's not too much. But you can still apply. All right. It doesn't matter. A week, 2 weeks, you can still apply. It means if it's still up on the website, it means it's not been filled yet. And you can still apply for those roles. All right. So you can apply for it. So once you finish with Australia, you move to Netherlands. All right. So it's never going to be, sorry. All right. It's never going to be an opportunity. It's never going to be a time where you won't get a place where you should be throwing your CV to. And having a good CV is something that's very, very important. Very, very important. All right. So you see data science intern, applied data scientist, so on and so forth. Now, the good thing also is, like I said, this is not the only job you can do. You can also work as a data analyst. All right, so data analyst, you can go back to United States, all right, United States, and you could look for remote jobs. Now, if you are currently in the UK, trust me, there are a ton of jobs for you if you're based off in the UK. All right, so if you are currently residing, the UK is a bit stringent on you being in the country to work remotely. All right, So it's not very flexible like the US, where where the companies can source for employees outside the country. The UK is a bit more strict, or not really strict. I would say that employers are really not aware of that just yet, that they can actually source for, remote employees outside the shores of the country. But if you are resident in the UK, there are enough jobs, and I'm going to show you that in a second. All right. So this is data analyst, and I'm going to go to remote opportunities. All right. Now I'm not going to go to posted anytime. I'm going to say, you see, in last 3 days, 134, and these jobs you can apply for them. Absolutely, 100%. So in the last week, 526 jobs, were posted, and this is just data analysts. We still have business systems analyst. We have business systems analysts. Okay, these are jobs that you can take on, but you don't know you can take on them. But that's the reason why we have the job sessions. We have the navigating the job market session to expose you, job opportunities you can take on. Right? So it's not until they call a job. Like one of the jobs I did, my previous 3-4 roles back when I was in Ireland was a business systems analyst role, was a global role, all right, whereby I was implementing data science, data analytics initiatives across the global team. Now, if I'd seen that role, global business systems analyst, and I did not apply for it, I would say that, oh, I'm not a data, I don't have that skill, that's why I'm not going to apply for it, or the job role doesn't have data science at the inside, so I shouldn't apply for it. So those are the things that you are not aware of that you can actually do. Now, if you're based off in the UK, there's a place I will tell you to go to. We have popular job sites. This is JobServe for guys in the UK or planning to relocate to the UK. All right. I could just put in data science. All right. And the reason why I'm doing this is very simple, right? I shouldn't put a region. I don't want to put a region because I want to just keep it. I don't know why it's speaking. So yeah. Now this is data science. This is a wide array. I'm leaving it open to any region within the UK. So we have London hybrid. We have up to £80,000. This is up to £80,000. Now this was also data scientist, and this is NLP, natural language processing, in which you still get to work on 30 to 110,000. That's a very wide gap. So basically, they're looking for junior. They're looking for people to fill the junior, all right, mid-level and senior roles. That's basically what this is, all right. So when you see roles like this that have a very high, salary range for the salaries, it means they are looking to fill in different positions. So anywhere your whole skill falls in, you will likely get an opportunity. So it's a very wide range. And look at what they're looking at: NLP, Python, or R. So if you're good with Python, that's good. Machine learning frameworks, beautiful. All right, ML ops, AWS and GCP. So see this other one, data scientist, £700 per day, not per week, per day. All right. So you see, 3 months contract. This is likely to extend, and most people don't understand these contract rules. All right, contract rules are they are the fastest way to get a job within the UK, and also you'll be surprised that these guys move on to actually sponsor you in the UK. All right. So a lot of people will see this now and say that, oh, I'm looking for sponsorship. I'm looking for a sponsored role. But these people are looking to test you, all right, before they even give you sponsorship. But if they give you sponsorship, they are tied to you. They can't deal with you. They can't see they don't need you anymore. Well, the key thing is for you to get your foot into the door, all right? If it's a contract, if it's a fixed term, whatever the situation is, get your foot into the door, all right? Thereafter, you can now start once you perform well, I can guarantee you will get sponsorship, all right? And that's one thing I like to tell most people. Personally, I'm not applying for any sponsorship, any sponsored job. Do you understand? So contract, sponsorship, and that's the way. I'm not. Those are the opportunities that are there. Let me just put it there. That there are opportunities that you can actually get from there. So there are tons of opportunities everywhere, global, and that's why I usually tell people get a global skill, get a global skill. The Python they're requesting for, it's the same Python you will learn, going through the training program. All right. So those are the things I would like to share with you before and move on to the other thing. But anyways, Brahima, yes, you can share back your screen. These are the things I would just like to just to specify a little bit before we call it a go. All right, so Bidemi is saying that my name is Bidemi. I have paid for the September code, but the explanation tonight I would prefer the data science course. Okay, to data analytics. Oh, yes, 100%. So you're not restricted, all right, to make a move. You can actually make a switch. Okay. So yes, so that's why Brahma has even answered that question already. Okay. So Brahma, I'm gonna hand over back to you. Miriam, I think Miriam and Clayman are still have their questions. I think we can just take the questions and call it a day. Please, guys, discount is running at the moment for just the first 20 people. All right. So if you want to be part of the first 20 people to register, please make your payment now. Okay. Thank you. Brahma.
Okay, so thank you very much, Akimina. Miriam, let's quickly take you before we call it a day.
Hi, good evening. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
good
can hear
evening.
me.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can hear you clearly.
One thing I notice about all these job roles are people always asking for experience, like even junior data scientists or data analytics, they expect you to have like 1 to 2 years experience. Like I started my data science journey since February, but I'm yet to get a job. I finished a course on Coursera, but then I noticed that whenever I'm trying to apply for jobs, they keep telling you that you need like junior data science role, you need like 1 to 2 years experience. Then I don't know, me registering for this course, I don't know how it's going to help me with that. That's my question.
Okay. Akimina, do you want to take that?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would like to take it actually. Thanks for that. So what I would say, Miriam, is that is sort of one of the reasons why we started 10 analytics. All right. So you see that point in time where you are learning by yourself. Okay. It's good to learn by yourself. I actually applaud people that try to learn by themselves. But one thing is you will likely find it difficult to transition. It's going to be, I learned personally, and it took me over 2 years before I got my first job. Do you understand? Now, what did I learn without 2 years is that these people are looking for experience. They specify 2 years, 3 years experience, but they don't tell you where you're getting that experience. They really don't care where you get that experience from, but they expect you to have experience. Okay, and that's the beauty about the industry. Now, over the years, I've also personally recruited for firms I've worked with in the UK and Ireland, and I'll tell you categorically is projects you've worked on as an individual amounts to experience. The kind of caliber of project you work on and the way you structure your experience plays a very huge role. All right. And you see, when we said the 50% for technical skill, then you have the other 50% for CV review, link optimization, and all the other things that we offer is intentional. And that's because you learning the technical skill is not enough. It's never even close to being enough. You understand? You can be very good in Python, or if you feel you don't have experience or you don't have a good CV, you will likely not get placed. You'll likely not get a job. All right. So what we've done is we have devised a way we do things within analytics. So your CV review, you get to work on your CV, you get to, do some work on your CV and show you the ways you can move things around, leveraging your previous experience and all that into data science and not, do the same thing on your LinkedIn and, basically rebranding. So we had a session yesterday, and some of the guys on the call talked about some of the guys. The guy is currently a global talent, so it was sponsored to the UK from Nigeria as a global tech talent, and the other lady also currently works as a business intelligence developer with one of the largest logistics firms in the UK. So one thing they've said, all right, is branding is very important. If it was coming from me again, it would have been, saying, "Oh, if Femina is saying this." But these are the things that professional in the industry will tell you categorically. Branding matters a whole lot. And that's what we do, right, with our participants. And I will guarantee you you going through the training programs, learning the technical skills. Now, learning the technical skills alongside working on industry relevant projects is what guarantees you that experience. So when you're speaking to an employer, all right, the employer wants to hear you talk about how you have used data science in an actual business case. All right. So, tell me about a time you built a statistical forecast, or you're able to build. Tell me about any project you've worked on. You can confidently talk about how you worked in an oil and gas organization that was trying to figure out there was a decline in oil revenue and all that, and you wanted to see how to extrapolate what the revenue will be in the next couple of months if there is a dollar rise or whatever the situation is, looking at economical conditions and all that. So you can talk confidently on those kind of projects, and that's good. Those are the kind of projects you're going to work on. So something like what we did on the call today, all right, will be adjusted together to give you that work experience that you need in order for you to get, the job, your first shot at getting a job. So those are the things that we have put together, honestly speaking, to ensure that you can maneuver your CV or maneuver your experience with the training, in order for you to get your first role. I hope that I hope that makes sense, Miriam.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. So looking forward to having you in the session anyways. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely I'll join.
All right. Absolutely. Okay. So okay. All right, no problem, guys. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is Monday. So one thing I would like to say again is please secure your space. If you have 100,000 naira to secure it and pay balance of 80,000 naira before the program starts. A lot of people come back to say that, oh, please, I'm part of this. I came for your training program. I came for this. I attended. Can I still get a discount? It might be too late if you're waiting to the end of the month. All right. So please, if you want to secure your space now, secure it now. All right. While we still have the discounts running. How much in Ghana cedis? Just use the pay stack. We really don't work with rates and all that. So you can just use the pay stack link. So once you click on the main stack link, all right. So once you click on the main stack link, it takes you to, you'll see pay with pay stack. All right. You can pay with pay stack. Once you pay with pay stack, it will give you the rate. So we really don't determine rates and all that, unfortunately. The fixed price that we have is it's in Naira and in pounds. So those are the fixed rates that we have. All right. And bear in mind that it's a discount. It's not the actual fee to the end of the program or to the end of the month. An early bird discount for the first 20 people to register. All right. So that's it on my own side. And is there anything? Another thing I would like to say is once you click on the link and you try to register and you're still confused, should you take between data analytics and data science? During the payment, when you are registering your payment, you don't need to select a particular course. Just select, I need to speak with, I need to speak with an expert. All right. So once you click on it and you try to register, just, select, instead of selecting the course, you can select, I need to speak with an expert in order for you to, where you should fall into. Should you do data science, data analytics, or, business analysis or any other program? So you can still speak with an expert, and we still have this week to do that. But the key thing, like I said, is secure your discount. Secure your discount. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is Monday. I don't think we should waste too much of our time here today. I'm sure you get. Anyways, if you still we're still going to be having one-on-one sessions this week during the week. We're still going to be having one-on-one sessions. So if you're in the WhatsApp group chat, please specify you need a one-on-one. Just send a message to any of the admins on the WhatsApp group, and specify that you need a one-on-one conversation. All right, and we'll schedule that for you. All right, so no one can pay with Visa card. 100%, you can pay with your Visa card, your MasterCard. It really doesn't matter. Just go to use the pay stack, and you can make that payment. Or you could use PayPal also to make the payment. Either PayPal or Paystack, you can make payments using those two platforms. So if you want a one-on-one session, send a message to any of the WhatsApp admin. All right, I would schedule a one-on-one call with you. But please, like I said, secure your discount. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna call it a day. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the training program. Okay, just received my welcome kit, but would like to switch to data science. Yes, you could just send the email the email that sent you the welcome kit. Just respond to that email. Okay, so you're fine. You're 100% fine. So the person that sent you the welcome kit, send an email identifying what you need to do. All right, and you're going to be fine. Please, can I have the WhatsApp one-on-one call? Okay. Yes, Afanu. Okay. So we're going to drop the WhatsApp link. Okay. We're going to drop the WhatsApp link. Okay. We're going to drop the WhatsApp link for you to join the WhatsApp. Just once you join the WhatsApp group, ensure you join, ensure that you specify that you want a one-on-one conversation. Okay. All right, so thank you guys for taking out time on the Sunday to listen to us. All right, and once you get the materials, please try to recreate your dashboard. Try to recreate your dashboard. Post on LinkedIn and tell it's a free session. It's free of charge. That's all you have to do is just try to recreate your own dashboard, and take it off from there. All right, post on LinkedIn. Tag myself. Tag the analytics. Tag Brahima. Brahima has done a fantastic job today. And tell you for free, yeah, Brahima has done a fantastic, she has a very fantastic experience, not deploying just data science initiative within companies in Nigeria or in Africa. She has also worked with multinational organizations. And you can tell with, the quality of output that she did in class today. So, those are the kind of caliber of people that we have on a call that have not just done it locally, but have done it on a global scale. All right. And these are the people that will be holding your hands and guiding you through the journey into tech, into the data science space. So as a data scientist, you have the world to conquer. All right. The sexiest job of the century, isn't it? That's what Forbes said. All right. So please register and let's see how we can work together. The WhatsApp link has been sent in the link that's Afanu. Click the link in the chat right now. Barima just sent it. Click the link and let's see how we can work together. Thank you very much. That's going to be it for tonight. All right. Have a wonderful week ahead. For some of you that might be having the one-on-one session, we'll be happy to speak with you during the week as the week goes by. As we specify, we'll schedule the one-on-one calls for us to speak with you. Okay. So thank you very much and have a lovely weekend. All right. Have a lovely week. If you had a wonderful time, I want you to put a 1 in the chat and let's call it a day. Cheers, guys. I had a wonderful time, so I'm gonna put 1 also. All right. 1. Brahima, do you want to say bye to everyone also quickly?
Hi, good evening. A good evening, everyone. Tomorrow is like Monday, so we don't really take too much of your time again. So ensure you take a break. Then when you get the recording for this session, you can now recreate whatsoever we've done in class, and it's nothing too complex. So I believe that you'll be good. All right, so that's all from my end.
Okay. Good night, everyone, and have a wonderful night rest. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.